and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. We are on our first Tuesday of February, and it's actually an interesting one. You're starting off pretty good. The real big effect is coming out of Asia, South Korea. They're ripping up there, and I'm sure you have noticed gold and silver has finally started off on a good day. We're going to see if this holds. You got earnings after the bell. We even got a little bit of earnings with Palantir yesterday, and we are going to be getting into a week of a couple of more earnings. So there was a lot of different headlines related to everything from chips and rumors, and then we even got a couple of random big earnings. So we're going to see how it all plays out. The real question is, do we get momentum near the highs, or are we going to get into that earnings effect? So, Chattadonia, I hope you are locked and loaded and ready to go. We got a lot of stuff to talk about on this morning, but before we do any of that, before we try to chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people, one that's made a sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the cult, the people here, the people not here, want to give a huge special shout out all the active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country, the veterans. God bless every single one of you. Thank you for your service to this great country. I hope none of y'all forget or take for granted the extensive amount of freedom that you have and how important it is to your life. So veterans, thank you. And thank you to your families as well. They made that sacrifice, and I beg you, own the land, save the 10%, get some high quality stocks, my brother. But at the very least, we love all of you, man, and I hope you know you are loved and appreciated. And big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities, all the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, everybody making their community run, baby. God bless you and thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Set the digits! Oh, it's game time, Chad. Oh my goodness. Happy Tuesday. Good morning, dude. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Good morning. Bright and early. I hope you have been awoken. I hope you have been awoken. You have been chosen to be awoken if you have awoken. Oh, I don't know if they feel me, bro. I don't know if they feel me. A lot of post earnings. What time is it? Oh, we got 3 minutes. So we got a lot to talk about. There's Pfizer. They had bad earnings, actually a good earnings, and then a bad obesity pill reaction. So I think that'll be an interesting one. Might get some continuation or reversal. Google, that's going to be the main earnings alongside AMD. Then you'll even have a couple of potential run-ups. Qualcomm, Reddit. We'll see where those lead. Pepsi, too. That was another decent earnings. And they said they're lowering the prices on snacks and Doritos. I don't know if you guys heard the news. So, yeah, they're actually doing pretty well. And then TER was the big earnings beat. And then you got, what's it called? Who was it? Why won't that load? You have Archite. They gave an update there. So we're going to see how that one plays out. They were talking about mortgage applications and considering the Penny Mac reaction you had last week. It actually had a decent bounce in it. So, yeah, those are going to be the ones I'm going to be watching. And then I just want to see whether or not we're going to get that earnings trap, man. If we could actually move up, it'll be good. Otherwise, if it kind of stays in that one range, it'll kind of be a little shitty. And then, again, gold and silver. It's been, 3 days after that fiasco. So I do think some people are excited. The question is if it holds. And I think all of that energy is coming from your boy, Korea. So other than that, Chad, I'm going to go to the potty. We'll get this started. You got 2 minutes till the bell. Good morning. Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a call, baby. Hey. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared, big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear, no fear. Oh dear, who you try to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah, it's done.
Daddy said it's finished, made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it, set apart from the start. And the heart isn't ours, it's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the arc. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god, then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib, but for a second, keep it real, it's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing, they want that to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now, Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I can listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it.
I forgot there was critical minerals too.
Hey, if we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years.
Oh yeah.
You could have it all, but
good morning, Chatadonia. Yeah, there was a EU. They said they're working on a critical minerals deal with the United States over the China stuff. So that popped a lot of those. And then yeah, man, we'll watch how these post earnings play out. Some of them are gassed up. And then, yeah, you did get a new Disney CEO. The Parks guy's going in. PayPal got squashed, and then they announced the surprise CEO change. So we are going to see. But, Chad, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Fight. All righty. Oh, where'd it go? Again, Pfizer open down 5. Yeah, bro. That chain's not open. I'm going to watch that one. And then Arquite, I just don't want Arquite to fade. Again, some of these mornings, they will fade right away. And then silver too, though, if that ends up squeezing again. I know the volumes are still pretty high. I think as of Friday, you set a record for ETF volume. Some people are even blaming the silver structure. Just the fact that the ETF couldn't handle everything. But then again, the spot price did go down as well too, but you're up by 0.3. Nasdaq was higher a little bit. Russell is starting off very good, 0.4. Dow is barely green, and SPY at a quarter. Oh, damn, SanDisk going. Oh wow, SanDisk was just at $6.99, so that just started off $15 higher. All right, we'll take that. Again, there's a lot of the chips are doing good. You got some little AI rumors as well too, or excuse me, what is it? The one homie, Intel. Oh wow, the Google's gapped up too, actually. All right, and then you got Iron moving up. Iron had a 4% gap up, Habibi. Indeed, Kai. Good luck, traders. Indeed. Watch biotechs and healthcare. They're starting off too. Let's see, even PayPal. Again, PayPal's already at 20%, so it's probably going to do 25, 30, or it's going to bounce up and get back near 1.5 standard deviations. Adobe got a downgrade by Piper Sandler. That was this morning. Other than that, no other news. Again, healthcare is starting off pretty strong here as well too. I already got the Pfizer up there. Again, Intel back above 50. I mean, literally up 5 to start. Chips are doing good. And then again, this is what I'm saying, though. I think a lot of this is coming from Asia. So again, Asia, AI, chip stocks, Samsung, HK Hynix, they're all going really nuts right now. TTD dump. There was the AI news yesterday. And then I think there was one more thing on like ad servers. But other than that, nothing this morning. Meta's even waking up here. Again, ARM is up 10. Oh, I was like, ARM is up 10. That's crazy. Meta 0.5. ARM is only up by 1. Yeah, dude. TER, did that come down to start? Yeah, that thing was up, I think, 20%. Yeah, am I tripping? No, yeah, that thing was up 20%. So, again, that's what I'm scared of on some of these on the front run. Pfizer already came up, though. 3.5. I don't know. They haven't even opened. There it is. Option chain is opened on Pfizer now. But, again, their earnings was not bad at all. It was their obesity pill. But look, right when the option chain opened, it kind of slowed down there. A couple of staples going up. You still had Pepsi too. So there is still a lot of post-earnings effect today. Bop, bop, bop. Oh, googly woogly. I think emerging markets going a little crazy too. Iran, these cloud stocks or these energy stocks, and some of the ones that they're starting off very good. So that's what I was saying. Watch if the premiums actually get up. Because if the premiums move today, you might not have to wait for the trigger, but if it does slow down, it'll be very trappy. And then Google had Waymo. Google's not even up by that much. They had that Waymo news, but the premiums are a lot higher. Playing EWY, if you want to risk it. I mean, again, South Korea is like going insane. That index is already up 3, but I do think it's driving a lot of our other stuff. But if you think it's going to continue, I mean, you could take a look. It's literally like everyone's been focusing on gold, silver. There's a couple of industries that have gone straight up, but like a lot of it comes back to Korea. But it is very risky. It's very gambly. It kind of reminds me of the Hong Kong index, like in 23, 24. But yeah, so it's going to be a little risky there. But if you have the stomach for it, and Q straight, yeah, it's only up by 0.12. It was up by 0.5 not too long ago. Again, the Russell's up at 0.52. That's looking great. Walmart, couple of staples. You had ADM earnings. They weren't too hot, but you're seeing like KHCs and a few others go. There is a Pfizer. Damn, big ass spreads on these. The Googles are holding up the best. That is the one. And the SanDisks are still pretty nice, but that one's crazy, dude. Let's see. Oh yeah, Palantir. That was the other really good post earnings. People were like, that one gave up a little bit. Their earnings was actually pretty impressive. So yeah, but then again, I think it was pricing in about 9 or 10. So it was, I think 9. So you're right below that. So it's unfortunately one standard deviation. But that one was a good one, Habibi. A very, very good one. Bruh, these Pfizers are terrible. I like it, but the spreads are just not really, they're not really good. Unless, yeah. Spreads are actually awful. Well, that's unfortunate. SanDisk, GoEV, WDC, they had a $4 billion buyback. That one's going up there too, so see if SanDisk follows or not. There's one that didn't do good. I don't know if it's like STX, one of those chip makers. They did not do as hot. USAR, Critical Minerals. Again, you had that EU news. What was that other one? The Paladine? They had some sort of contract this morning. I forgot the ticker on that one. And then Architay still up. PDYN. Thank you. Where's that one? So watch if that one goes with it. But again, Sermal, USAR, all of those, even MP. Yeah, MP starting to go. A couple of those just hit the high ticker right now. Low ticker is kind of active. We haven't moved down. I mean, it has been straight selling. NASDAQ is about to go red. All the Russell is done is actually hold up. And then even oil's up today as well, too. Let's go see our gold and silver again. Silver's still back up. Again, 8.9. Remember, those 6% daily moves, so you're already kind of above that. And then banks, there was a ton of bank upgrades. Even SoFi got one. Yeah, PayPal is the only one in finances that did bad. Like I said, they were just at 20. So it's either going to break that 20% mark or it's going to kind of meander here. Meta's starting to go too. And then Google's starting to come down. Remember, you got AMD earnings today after the bell. Oh, net. Yeah, they had a little bounce yesterday, but they got clapped. Data, I think everybody in that space. Who's the other one? And then Visa's going up. They got to upgrade Visa and MasterCard. Yeah, I think, is Meta the only one in the green? Apple barely red? Or no, they're down 0.5%. Yeah, Meta's the only one going up there. Google's holding, but starting to slip. Pfizer chilled out. The premiums came down a little bit, but my goodness. see. Yeah, the arms woke up. A couple of the emerging market plays are coming up too. That one's interesting. And then Honeywell, that's because of GLW. Yeah, those are still kind of going up there. Premium very, actually that one's breaking out. And then Disney starting to move. Eugene, welcome. Joseph, welcome. How are you guys? SLGN. Yeah, Disney not too hot off all that. And then J&J. XBI, XLV, they're both doing great. Is that silver again? Yeah, silver's at the high right now. So again, that's already packed. It's 50% more than what it's priced in. So if it is going to start to wake up a little bit, you might start to see that. NASDAQ has gone red by 0.1%. That was quick. Again, that's already sold off literally, what, 9 minutes? You have sold off 0.5%. I guess it took like an hour, really. But yeah, you were doing good. This looks like a couple of the charts there. And you did have that like TER and a couple of post earnings. That one even climbed up. A Pfizer. Again, silver and gold. A couple more healthcares. You got Meta padding the stats a little bit. And the WSDCs and SanDisk kind of chilled out. And then Google, they're only up by 1/4. AMBA. ARM, Reddit. Those all came down. CoreWeave, yeah. Those all jacked up and then came down. And then the Pfizer. And then Bradley Frizzle and the Peach as Arquite runs. Habibi. Orna. Oh, my brother. How are ya? Good morning. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. Oh, Walmart surpasses 1 trillion for the first time ever. On the Peach. You got Walmart hitting 1 trillion and Bradley Frizzle running it up, baby. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Where is Boeing, actually? You had Boeing GE news. It didn't affect it. Yeah, Boeing's up 1.7. I think Boeing's feeling the vibe. Silver's still going up there. Again, silver is outperforming gold by a pretty big amount. But damn, gold up 6 is not a small amount. That's actually kind of massive there. So yeah, gold, silver. Let's see. I don't know where Korea's at. You could keep an eye on that one. Abivi, J&J. Again, a lot of them. And then even Baba. Pfizer's starting to go. Yeah, those plays went up. I was going to snag them. Let's see. Caterpillar. Again, these industrials are doing great. Yeah, GLW's up 4. Again, Honeywell. Caterpillar. Oh, did those sell? Fuck. I didn't think it'd fill me. Alright, I got rid of the Honeywells. Filled me at like 100%, but shit. I think those would have done better. Yeah, then the Pfizer's already bounced there. They came down, the spreads tightened, but then that ripped. It's honestly not even up that much. And then J&J, a lot of these biotechs. And then where's Intel? LMT, they got a downgrade, and then Arquite still running. So some of these from the morning are having continuation, bro. Arquite, and then which one? Well, there's one more. But yeah, again, these mornings haven't necessarily been the craziest. So if those hold on, I think like the Sermals and all that. And then Bidunius and the China ones got clapped. Oh, those EEMs too. I'm going to get rid of those. Habibi, why won't you fail? Very, very scam. Very, very scam. Are you serious? Why won't these fail? Well, I try to sell them. All right, there you go. I got out of the EMs from yesterday. You got a nice like 30%, and the other ones have came back. And then SPY with the little red candle. Target pumping. I like Arquite. Dude, the Pfizer's went though. I'm surprised. Those premiums were just at like 20 cents. They're already up 30%. But the stock like barely moved. Well. Even copper's up too. Keep that in mind. And then some of the other critical minerals, Paladine shit, that's still down. Yeah, some more than others. They just had a little bit of a run, but now they're coming back down. DVA. Didn't they just do the, what's it called? The merger with Corteva? And then Wally World. Again, Walmart above $1 trillion and going. And then Honeywell, bro. You're still getting a little bit more of those. I just dumped those. Yeah, bro. Walmart's fucking behemoth. Habibi. And then SPY, a little bit more red now. Or NASDAQ down by 0.3. Russell just keeps climbing on all of this. And then literally NASDAQ just, or SPY just flip red. Equal weight's going straight up. So equal weight's up by 0.4 while the SPY is up. So it's a little bit of that tech effect, to be honest with you. Yeah, SanDisk just gave up a little bit after that $20 gap. And then Nvidia's down by 1%. Where's Oracle? Where's Oracle and friends? The Google premium faded too. Well. Fed barking, a world of no job growth is uncomfortable. U.S. economic data for the last month and a half has been encouraging on the demand side. Employment and inflation, still an open question about when it'll fall to 2%. Says he's concerned about risk to employment inflation. Fed policy right now is at the higher estimate of neutral. And then bonds catching a little bit off that. Yeah, staples, I mean, this is what we were talking about yesterday, man. That ISM, that strong ISM manufacturing, I think it's really going to help the staples out. Now, granted, it needs to hold up. You're looking for a sustained macro hard data running up, but it was a very good sign, and it does support it. And you had earnings, too. I mean, I think ADM, that was probably your worst, like, consumer stock, at least of the last day or week. But some of the other names like Pepsi did very good. Again, Pepsi at 160. So remember, that one lagged a little bit after the Elliott shit, but I think isn't it 157, 160? I forgot the range on that one. But yeah, Pepsi even coming back up. And they're lowering Dorito prices, bro. How bullish is that? Yeah. This is past the range. Remember 157? I think Patrick was asking me the other day. So if you break above the 160, that was a very good level for them. Assuming it holds. Fly, pelican, fly. And the German bond yield's highest since 2011, yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. All this bond stuff, the dollar stuff. I think it's going to be an important concept this year. And we're watching a lot of time machines. We're watching a lot of things go back to it. You even had the Swiss bank. They were talking negative rates yesterday. Set a much higher threshold, though. Microsoft. Who's the other earnings one? I keep blank. Qualcomm. I think someone left Qualcomm, too. Let it go to NVIDIA. Yeah, Russell is up by 0.7. SPY went back to green. Again, the equal weight in these staples are like, they are running it. It's only 0.5%, but it just keeps going up after that. Pfizer came back down. The premiums are higher, though. So literally, premiums are higher here than they were right here, unfortunately. Blackstone gray. Global economy is healthy. European tech stocks down 4. Biggest drop since April of 2025. Habibi. I thought you said America, not EU. What happened? What has happened? No, WSJ, they have an event. I don't know if it's live, though. I think it's in Miami. You're going to have Nelson Peltz live. Yeah, they got a couple of them. But yeah, you're going to have Nelson Peltz and a few other people go live here in a sec. ALSN. There's a couple names on the high ticker. High ticker is pretty active, but I think it's all the Russell, man. Russell keeps going up. So in this whole process, you've had NASDAQ go down by 0.3, even sell off like a quarter, but then Russell just keeps climbing. SPY's doing a little bit better, but then equal weight. Again, that could be the Walmarts and the Caterpillars and everything else of the world. I'm surprised the Dow's not up more, but it is 0.4 compared to everything else. So it does feel like more of a rotation day. Silver and gold, SLV back above 80. But yeah, dude, silver is kind of insane. 10% on the ETF. I think it's near 12 on the spot price. ARM. And then, yeah, those critical mineral plays are coming back up. Again, there's an event tomorrow, and then you had the EU stuff today. DaVita, ADM. ADM's post-earnings. I was trying to climb. It was down a little bit more. And Pfizer, bro. The Pfizer premiums are trash. They were good if you got them 30 minutes ago. That wasn't even 30 minutes. That was like 10 minutes ago. It's only been 20 minutes of the market. Gray, Blackstone says outstanding choice for Warsh. That's good. That's good. Silver again on the high. SPY's just right at VWAP. Bonds are tweaked out a little bit. Again, NASDAQ down by 0.15. Russell is up almost 1%. And then energy's going up. Again, yesterday oil was bad, but now it's climbing. PayPal earnings, it wasn't like too bad, but the guidance was pretty weak, and then the shift in CEO was kind of a surpriser. So, and then they're getting in the guy from HP. But yeah, it's they got pretty close. I think it's one of their worst days in a minute. Who else was there? There's Pfizer, ADM, and there's one more bad earnings, and then TER was the good one. TER came back up 10. So again, that thing was up 20 something in the AM. Bro, silver. I got silver in the top right. It's starting to do it again. Oh, WMB. I kept thinking KMB. Yeah, look at Williams-Sonoma. Up 2% on a couple of candles here. That kind of looks like news or something. WMB. I kept seeing that one pop up. They got price target raise. I think they raised their dividend. Yeah, check WMB. I don't see anything on it, but except like dividend and upgrade news. But literally big volume on Williams. I think they're in a bankruptcy. Am I tripping? Is that Williams-Sonoma, or am I looking at a different one? Yeah, someone just bought a fuck ton of options. That's it. That's literally it. Just options activity on WMB. And then it's getting a lot of volume here on the back end. That's not, WMB's not Williams-Sonoma. I might be tripping. But yeah, that's up 2.1. Silver. Now you got Apple playing along. That'll help. Yeah, Apple went, that's like 0.75% on Apple, low key. Remember, Meta was doing good too, only back to a quarter. It's a pipeline company. And then Google, again, the Google premiums, they chilled out, but I didn't think they were up as much. Remember, I thought there was only like 20-30% yesterday. They were up like 50 to 70. Damn, bro. Homegrown terrorism. I thought are they going to fill the gap before earnings? Let's see. WSM is William. I think, isn't Williams-Sonoma going bankrupt though? Or am I tripping? You get SMCI. You get Chipotle after the bell today too. Yeah, bro. Just the ARMs, the Qualcomms, all of them of the world. Yeah, WMB, again, there's nothing on it. It's just literally somebody bought a fuck ton of options, and then that's kind of causing the volume to go up, but there's nothing on it just yet. Those expense, Habibi. Very expensive play. Alright, we'll wait a little bit. Williams, largest natural gas company in America. Nice, thank you. I don't know if it's bio. Just watch it, though. Volume's a little bit unusual, but there is no real driver. MO, MCD on the high. SPY's coming back down. Russell came down to almost like 0.1% a quarter there. NASDAQ's back to 0.4. It's a wild shift from the morning. So, yeah, equal weight starting to go down. You got Apple going up, but you are starting to sell off a little bit. Again, the morning, it had a couple of follow-throughs, but now it's starting to look very morning-like. Remember, you're still in this earnings mode. You had a ton of earnings this morning. You gapped up. You're near the high. We need to see whether or not we are going to hit the trigger. Eli Lilly gapping up a little bit. They haven't moved in a minute. Pfizer, big candle. Yeah. I don't know if they have to call. Bro, that's why the fucking premiums. That one's pissing me off, dude. I wanted those, bro. They wouldn't drop it. Yeah, Pfizer started. They're back up to that 30%. It wouldn't go down. But yeah, that one's starting to move a little bit. Apple doing good. Again, there's a couple of biotechs, staples that are also holding up. The Q's on the high. SQQ, you're going down. Trump weighs diplomacy with Iran amid rising tensions. I'm surprised oil didn't take a stick off of that. Philip Morris, MO going up as well. The South Korea stock's fading a little bit too. IWM almost gave up half of that gain though, so it's coming back down. This last like 5 minutes, everybody's coming down. There's a couple names on the high, but you can see the low ticker picking up. HCHL, Happy City Holdings. You want to ask me a religious question? You can, but it is 6:57 a.m., bro. Did you just wake up and you're like, yo, Josh, where do we go when we die? But I think the answer is Jesus, no matter what. But it's early, man. It's early, but we will have a philo later today. Pete Mandelson set to quit House of Lords. Is that UK? Financial Times. I don't even. What this GP? What fucking assets do we even trade for Europe? It's been a while. Or for the UK. Pepsi too, bro. 161. That's looking good. And then where's Palant? And SPY still coming down here. Bonds are trying to catch a bid. Silver's even coming down. Pete Mandelson to step down from UK House of Lords. Was he in the fucking emails or something? Microsoft's down 2. So yeah, Apple we would be down a lot more if Apple wasn't there. Meta just flipped red as well. Again, you got a couple of these like biotechs and other names that are going up, or like bigger biotechs, and then even damn Pfizer recovered about half of that loss. UPS, Kevin Hassett, dog, or Kevin Warsh. And now, yeah, they're down 6. I think a lot of these like software companies and like cloud, they got murdered. Again, software, I think the software credit has been terrible. Like in the private credit market, people were talking about that, and then the stuff in Korea, it's been like chips. It's like their own little AI rally, so that's what's been driving stuff. But yeah, I think some of those did get knocked pretty hard. Cure, that one's a biotech. They had bad news a couple weeks ago. Visa. No, we do not have the jolts, man. So that's what's crazy, because the volatility is not even as high as it should have been. But yeah, there's no jolts data because of the little partial shutdown. So we have no data on Friday, no data today, and given the fact there's no jobs data, that brings down the market volatility because there's no real data to expect. But yeah, I mean, Nasdaq's already down 1. But this is what I was saying here. We wanted a day like yesterday. Now, unfortunately, you're going to kind of be in a weird earnings mode. Because now you might even sell a little harder, but even if this shit comes back, I mean, that's it. Maybe towards middle of the day. But you're not, you hit a baby high. You didn't go to the all-time high. And then you're not getting the same, momentum. But now you got earnings. Earnings drag, and then we're going to drag around here. And I think staples are probably going to keep leading. But, yeah, you might need to be patient today. Unless it, like, really flushes. But then at the same time, I think you're going to get a little bit of that rotation. PayPal is back to 2017. Yeah, like I've been saying, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people were asking me about PayPal this year. And like I said, we have a small portion that we bought a couple years ago, but, there's other quality. So give it a couple weeks here. If Kimberly Clark and other names go back up, and then, I thought Pepsi, we might have been able to get Pepsi cheaper, but that one's not going to happen. But it's just like, let's see the opportunities, but remember quality. Quality. So PayPal was kind of the second or third tier. But if we run out of quality, I'll take a big discount. But as long as there's good quality on the table, I would avoid the bargain bin for now. We want the quality bin and then the bargain bin. You want good item on sale. You want the good item. You want the good brand name on a sale. And if you can't get the sale, then you go to bargain bin. That's how I view. Yeah, bro. That last 10 minutes, kind of ugly. Like I'm saying, that's where all of it happened. Even the Russell was holding up. Dow just gave up 0.4. SPY just gave up 0.4. NASDAQ just went 0.8 on that. And then the Russell gave up half of the gains. Yeah, Tuesdays haven't been the hottest. Everything litty, I love when it's hot. All right, let's get a checkup. Dow Jones, 22 in the green, 8 in the red. All 8 in the red are tech except for like Sherwin-Williams and Nike. So yeah, everything not tech related is doing amazing still. You got a decent amount of cushion on there. That's what I'm saying. It's going to feel rotationary today. What you're seeing on the SPY might just be coming from the tech name, sadly. NPT. Oh, somebody, that was like a weird SC13 this morning. And then NASDAQ 60 in the red, 40 in the green. So you're already leaning red on the NASDAQ. And SPY 329 in the green, 174 in the red. So yeah, I think a lot of staples, again, industrials, think ISM manufacturing down to the post earnings. Anything like super tech related is doing amazing. But that's SPY. This is all just tech names. Some of them started off strong and then sold it all, but it's definitely a tech effect with a couple of other names like bookings down, credit companies, a couple of banks, even though they got upgraded. But yeah, I also think it's post earnings effect. I think a little bit, it's a rotation day. We'll see. MGM starting to go up there, a little bit extra volume. Intel back below 50. Intel come back. Yeah, they were up 5, dude. 5 literally 30 minutes ago. So again, a lot of names were like that, and they were all tech chip related. But that's what I was saying here. Just watch out for the morning. If you got a day like Monday, it's easy. They all go up. But now, if not, it's going to play a little bit, we're going to have to probably kill some time here. Let this thing rotate around. Or if tech could chill out, stabilize, and then the rest of the value, rest of the staples, industrials go up, then that'll be a good day. Other than that, though, if it takes more time than not to do that, you're going to be kind of waiting here towards the end of the day, and then everyone's going to start getting ready for earnings. A major Anthropic backer quintuples AI math valuation in new deal. I think it's the euro drag. They're having the worst day. Could reverse that euro close. Yeah, that could be it. Mixed in with earnings too, but we'll find out in like an hour and a half. Yeah, gold and silver has been disgusting. But yeah, back up to 9, but that's just been holding a little bit above average all day. The Monday move could be the takeout. I think you would need Asia to sell off, because that was the thing. That Monday night, a lot of people were, I didn't even realize how bad the futures were, but I do remember, Hong Kong and Asia and China, they were all going down on Sunday night. So right now they're doing good. But yeah, the only thing globally doing bad right now is Europe. I mean, they just had Homeboy step down. They had their tech stocks getting clapped. But at least Korea's up today. But we'll see. Like I'm saying, I'm still chalking this up. There's a big rotation. You're half of yesterday, so it's not it could be a lot worse. But at the same time, I just think it's more of a earnings rotation effect. This is kind of what we were talking about in the morning. We're going to need some patience. Orion CMC to buy Glencore assets at $9 billion value. All right, high ticker's gassing up again. Remember, EQT, they had a deal today too. They're climbing. Again, JPM banks are doing decent. Honeywell chilling, then MO, bro. MO, PM, these value stocks. I'm surprised MO ripped how it did, though. Because, again, that thing was just at 54. Now it's at 63. Interesting start to the year. Tesla back to green. Adabe? I like it, but not ready to buy it just yet. I'm being patient. I don't know when their earnings is. So earnings is probably either going to make it more appealable or it's going to take it off the table. But we talked about it in the Kimberly-Clark video. When is their earnings? March 12th. So yeah, you're going to probably have a little bit of time. I don't know if Adobe has too many sympathies. A lot of gaps. But yeah, let that thing kind of work. I mean, it's up to you. I have been eyeing some growth stocks, but I have a different idea in mind than Adobe. So if the other growth stocks I can't get, I'm watching it, but it's not like, kind of like PayPal. I think it's better than PayPal, but it's not really like the first one on my list per se. Especially as long as Kimberly-Clark's at $99, or cheaper, that's going to be on my list. That's going to be number one. Or if I could get TAP again. I know it's boring, but look at these days. Look at how the market plays out. It works very well. I'm not, what I'm saying? I like the boring shit, bro. Give me boring. Give me a good dividend. I'm going to have a great time. Then maybe we'll see what Intel does. But Intel came back a little bit. But other than that, though, if we run out of high-quality options, if we run out of good stability, good dividends, I have a bunch of growth names I could dabble in. And Adobe's one of them, but it's not the priority. There's a lesson there in life, amen. Was it the Intuit guy? I don't know. PayPal it was a surprise. That's what kind of shocked people. Besides the guidance, which was bad, the fact they were just like, new CEO. That kind of caught everybody off guard. UAMI, AREC. Again, some of these critical mineral plays starting to go up again. So they've at least held up pretty good. SPY going lower. Still the same dynamic. I mean, Dow's about to go red, but look, there's like TAP, Kimberly, Procter Gamble. There's a lot of value plays going up. Russell's still holding a little weaker, and then now NASDAQ is down over 1%. But yeah, this is it's a baby rotation, but there's way more pressure coming out of the tech names. And then Pepsi, bro. Banger if you still got your Pepsi. You should, because it was a long term. Yeah, that came back up. Yeah, Kimberly's doing good right now. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's been bouncing around there since I've got it. I mean, I got it, what, last week? And then we go up and down. So no rush. You got like a month till you could receive the dividend or not. So we'll find out. I pumped Pepsi on you. Why do you make it? I didn't pump Pepsi on you. Okay? I just gave you good options and I yelled at you guys for trying to buy dog shit. I don't even own Pepsi. I can't even benefit off of your fucking 128 to 160. He said I pumped it on you. Back in my day, they would say you hooked me up. They would call me the plug, not the pump. And I told y'all the quality Pepsi Max. But yeah, that was a sick pickup if you got it, and I know a lot of you did. I think that was the era of the draft class during that time. It was Pepsi, UPS, and Target. I think that all sounds familiar. But yeah, bro, that's what I was saying. You know, people were trying to buy other stuff, but I'm like, dude, you had a great opportunity. It was coming back down to, even to end of last year, we talked about it. But look, that's a nice stick, dog. That's a nice stick. You and Target, yeah, those are both fire pickups. That's what I'm saying. Now you've ran out of certain options. So, like, right when the other ones come up, the draft class is going to change, and then, yeah, man, we shop for the other ones. But the revolving door of opportunity. Gold on the high. So silver is kind of chilling out here, but gold is breaking out a little bit. Pepsi, or not Pepsi, pizza, same thing. If it goes below, because we're still up on it, sadly, because we got a nice purchase on that. But if it goes back below the 30, and then there's no other options, we will consider that. But that would just depend on where the other growth names are. You ain't never selling. I like Mountain Dew Baja Blast. That's Pepsi, right? But yeah, I fuck with. I liked all the Pep. I was telling you guys over and over again. I love that Pepsi portfolio. They have a lot of good products. Now they're lowering prices. So imagine they're doing good today, and one of the big themes of their earnings is lowering prices. That's crazy. Think about it. Everything going on. Man, give me some cheap Doritos. Ba-da-ba-ba-bop. I'm in a cult. These ain't gonna go down, are they? Excuse me. Didn't expect the hard rotation. Yeah, they all started off small. Look at XLP's at a 52-week high. But yeah, it wasn't. I mean, especially with gold and silver up. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but like it doesn't. Just like I'm saying, like at the same time, if we're dumping selling tech, people have liked to rotate this year. That's kind of been the major theme. But then at the same time, it is you had these post earnings, but a lot of them were good. So that's why I was like, I think you got like one or two bad ones, ADM, and then the Pfizer, but even Pfizer wasn't even bad. But yeah, you got healthcare, you got staple, you got a lot of value doing good. Yeah, tech earnings have been great though. That's the irony of all this. Like today, I don't even like Palantir was good all week. You're above average, so I just think it's a little bit of tech rotation and maybe some antsiness coming into the Apples and the other stuff, or it could be also too this little Nvidia OpenAI drama. That could be a whole nother area we're not even factoring in. But with Asia up, I'm a little less worried. You know, it's not like, again, UK, like El Coyote said, that's the only place that's getting clobbered right now, or EU, so we will see. Major builders said for million Trump homes. Wait, what? Check Homebuilders, DHI. Yo, Trump homes? New builds are about to start rolling out Trump homes, dog. Alright. Oh, they didn't fill me on all of them. I took some cheapies. They're already up a decent amount, but I've never heard that one. I think we're going to get a pump on that. Yeah, it didn't fill me on all of them. Only gave me a couple. Yeah, check all the home builders, some more than others. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but I'm down with it. I think they're gonna start pumping a new Trump home plan. Literally 1 million Trump homes. Something about Trump homes. Well, they popped up 1%. It's not a signal. So I did go a little too early on that, but like I'm saying, we'll see how this one plays out. They're already kind of jacked up there. Fucking Trump homes, dog. Oh, I don't think it filled all of them. Yeah. Yeah, Lennar, check. Lennar, DHI, Nail is even going up. Some of them more than others, but yeah. Oh, dude, what's a fucking Pulte, too? I don't know what this is, you guys. Yeah, Obama had phones. Trump has homes. Check even Home Depot, too. But yeah, this is where, remember, they were talking about they don't want to bring down prices. But they are like, so they might do like a incentive for people. Where, again, first-time home buyers might get, I don't know anything about this. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, I shot right away, but I don't really know what's going on. It's not filling me. They're up 100% already. Up to 200. I'm going to see if it'll fill. But yeah, that's taken 2 more percent. I think you're very early on that, dog. Is Whirlpool? They might go up on it. Yeah, Whirlpool's even catching a little bid. But I would stick to home builders. DHI, Pulte, Kimberly. Or what's it? No, not Kimberly. I'm thinking it's one with a K. KB. I'm locked in. I got another one. So good luck. Dog, how are they not filling me, dog? But yeah, we were early on that. Pulte is PHM, I believe. They're already up 5, and then Sherwin-Williams. Fucking paint's going up now. So real estate stocks are going up as well, like HD, Sherwin, and then the home builders. But yeah, you're getting a lot going up here. They've all launched. Well, I think you guys got that early, bro. I don't know what it means. So be careful. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't know the damn Trump home. I've never heard of this. I'm mad they won't fill some of these, yeah. But like literally Sherwin, HD, all of it. PHM is Pulte, the one in the top right. And then Lennar and DHI are the big ones. Those already popped up a lot, though. So again, I'm already up 100%. I'm just being greedy on this one. I'm actually kind of mad, dude. They're not filling me. I'm watching them fill everybody, but except my order. This is whack, bro. There it is. All right, they didn't fill all of them. I got 300%. So I'll take it. I'll take it. Now fucking Dollar Tree? What the fuck is this? So yeah, bro, a lot of like sub plays are going off of this, but I just kept it straight to the what's it called, to the home builders. Again, you could even go Nail. That one's already up 12. Plans to construct 1 million homes branded with the Trump name. Again, like Sherwin-Williams, dude, that one kind of took a stick. I'm very surprised. Ba-da-ba-ba-bop. I'm in a cult. Yeah, bro, they're still running up. Yeah, the mortgage stocks might go up on that too, but So it looks like they're going to focus on supply side. I'm sure we're going to hear more mortgage stuff depending on how the other stuff plays out, but I think very fascinating. What is that? Invest. General Catalyst says CEO 2030 AI could outperform every job. All right, it filled me on the rest of them at 300. So now I got free ones. Now it's 300 on the fucking bid. Habibi. Banger. That one wasn't as big, though. It's not 1,000%er, but I think we were very early. And then I did react emotionally, but I think it worked right. Just like I'm saying, bro, I've never heard of this Trump home thing. So, yeah, that's why I think getting there, reacting was pretty good. Again, you guys even had a little bit of a shot, too, on the delay. This is where it was. Full delay and everything. I mean, non-delay was right here, but full delay. Yeah, you guys that was golden. Well, dude, it seems like it's going to be a two-part plan. I don't know anything. I'm speculating on this. It's going to be about mortgages and homes, but right now, this part about the homes, we've never heard about it till today. So that's why, again, these Trump homes and everything else, the home builders are really going up on it. Nice. Nice. APO. If anything like Trump accounts, it'll be great and people will whine. I would not be surprised. They're like, why would I want a cheaper home? You know what happens when you get cheaper homes? This is bullshit. Canada is working with FAA Bombardier Dynamics to resolve outstanding certification. If restoration goes up, that's bullshit. That's the stupidest one. This might all fade now. Now that I think about it, this is just algo pumping. Why the fuck is a $20,000 couch going up on the home affordability? That makes 0 sense. You're like, oh, I got a Trump home? Cool, I need a $20,000 cloud couch now. It makes no fucking sense. I hate restoration. I actually love it, but I hate it. The fuck you mean? The Trump home is driving up restoration hardware. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. How dare they? Well, I'm still kind of clapped. Alright, well, we'll take it. I'm seeing, though, be careful. I don't know if it's a Reuters source. That's what you gotta watch out for. Cause yeah, this isn't widely circulated yet. So people are pumping this around now, but yeah, the source is a little sketchy. Lennar and Taylor Morrison among the firms. Yeah, it's pushed by Bloomberg. I think it's Reuters to Bloomberg. That's the only problem with it. Damn, bro, we were quick on that shit. It's weird. Everybody posted it 1 minute after. Like it's a 1 minute delay. That's crazy. But yeah, so be careful. It's Bloomberg's the source, but I could tell they're fucking recycling it, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna take one more off the table. I got a couple more, but they're still up 300%. I could get 400. No, I got a little bit more than that. I know, it's so weird, bro. You don't have the source. It's Bloomberg. That's why it's Bloomberg, but it might be a Bloomberg, like, recycling a fucking, what's it called? It could be them recycling a Reuters. So just be careful. That's it. I mean, you got it. And then, like I'm telling you, we were the first ones on it. Every article, you'll see it. I mean, I had it 10 minutes ago. The first article's at 9 minutes. Or we had it at 9, and now everyone's at... No, yeah, 10 and 9. But yeah, it's literally... The source is kind of sketchy. I've never heard about this. That was my first reaction right when I said it. So, just be cautious. But again, if people are circulating it, talking about it now, and most of the work is done. But yeah, SPY's even coming down in bonds. Bitcoin almost below 77. RH, this is... I can't believe... It's stupid when you got RH going up, though. It's a funny joke, but, like, why the fuck is Restoration going up? That makes 0 sense. Like, absolutely 0 cents. It's nonsense. No, nothing on True Social. So, again, it's a Bloomberg article. Just the sketchy part about it is you don't know if it's Bloomberg reposting, what's it called? Reuters. But other than that, it's not really like it's kind of a sketchy source. And then SPY getting a little active. You got critical minerals and more home building plays moving up. All right. Tell me, is it on TV yet? House Speaker Johnson will approve moving forward with legislation on Tuesday to bring an end to the government shutdown.
Staggering, and this will be a fascinating year to watch.
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. Real Cult News on Twitter. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
Nowhere I'd rather be than right here.
No,
front row
and then,
at the
as
New
I
York
said
Stock
earlier,
Exchange.
we're going to be able to talk about SpaceX's stock price. Can you imagine how much time we'll spend on that?
Meantime, prosecutors in Paris are raiding the offices of X.
They are.
On this year-long investigation about the spreading of child pornography. So his presence is everywhere.
It's everywhere. And don't forget, of course, the trial where he is suing OpenAI. That is not that far away. Perhaps as soon as April, we'll see that as well. And that could be important for OpenAI, certainly.
All right, guys, watching PayPal as well today. That stock is plummeting. Soft guidance and news of a CEO change. We'll have all the details for you after the break. And speaking of CEO changes, we'll talk about the long-awaited news out of Disney, just naming Bob Iger's replacement, what Disney's chairman told us about the pick ahead. And we'll get to the move in Palantir and what those earnings signal about the bigger AI picture. Stock sharply higher this morning. Squawk on the Street. We'll be right back.
Shown and delivered significant growth, not just in government, not just in the area of the United States, but commercial as well. And we're seeing more than 100% growth in that particular area of the business as well. They do need to think about international growth speeding up a little bit. That was up about 22%, but they really feel at the moment that just the way in which they're able to use your data, focus it in, make sure that you're making the right decision at the right time. Many people are wanting to get their hands on that sort of a software.
Yeah, Paul, I'm looking at the DES page for Palantir. Yep. PE 245, estimated PE 140.
Yep, they're earning the way into the multiple, as they say. Caroline Hyde, thanks so much. We appreciate that. As always, Caroline Hyde, B-Tech co-anchor for Bloomberg News, joining us live here in the studio. Looking at the markets here, red and green on the screen here today. The tech-heavy NASDAQ down 1% there, so we'll keep an eye on that. Next guest is Dryden Pence. He's the Chief Investment Officer at Pence Wealth Management. Dryden joins us here in our studio. Thanks very much for making the trip there, Dryden. 2025, great year.
It was.
Stocks, bonds, commodities. How are you setting up the conversation for 26 with your clients these days?
Well, we think there's really three big catalysts for 2026. It's going to be tax policy, it's going to be labor productivity, and it's going to be monetary policy. I mean, what people don't realize is that between the additional refunds that everybody's going to get because we withheld so much last year, plus the lower taxes in the great big beautiful bill, that's about $790 billion worth of additional stimulus coming into the market. And when you take that and you recognize that it was only 860 during COVID, we've got almost as much stimulus coming into the market this year as we did all those checks everybody got during COVID. And we know what happened after that. And so I think that we look at those fundamentals and we recognize that the economy is going to be pretty strong. Consumers are going to do pretty well. Companies are going to do pretty well. And you're beginning to see all of this stimulus working its way into the system. So we're very constructive for 2026.
There's also a lot of policy risk. I'm looking at the Homebuilders Index right now, up 5.6%, with every member up at least 2%. This is after we had that headline saying the major builders are considering a plan, said to consider a plan for 1 million Trump homes. The president says something, and in this case, it's usually tied to addressing affordability concerns, and stocks move immediately. And it could be something like Trump homes. It could be something like capping interest rates on credit cards to 10% for a year. That is something that investors like you have to navigate around. How do you move through that? Because this kind of thing can pop at any given day.
Well, I think that markets overreact a lot of times. I mean, like, do you know any irrational people? I mean, you can have irrational exuberance and irrational fear. But I think one of the things that's happened with this particular president is he tends to get what he wants. He tends to be able to pull it off.
Well, they're talking about it.
In the midterms, you've got control of both houses of Congress, and so he's
funny. It came from them.
In push. I mean, we just got.
So nail is still going up.
People thought we would never get
for
right?
AI.
So he's been successful, and so
shut up.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, man. Well, you got it early, Chad.
The current
GGs.
administration and President Trump. That seems to be something that's very.
This is
top
Nelson
of mind
Peltz
for himself. And you've got others like Elon Musk, who are also very focused on it, and he just announced a big deal merging SpaceX and XAI. But you have relationships with folks like this, and Trump and Musk and others in the administration. How do you feel about the impact that generally Trump and this administration has had on the market, and agree or disagree with a lot of where things are going?
We don't have enough time, okay? But
that's true.
I like everything else. I like a lot of things that Trump has done, and I disagree with some things that he's done. I think he's using tariffs the wrong way. I was hoping, and I think Elon the same, was hoping that the threat of tariffs were going to lower tariffs, so we had closer to free trade with us and our trading
why is
partners
RH still up?
not being used as a source of revenue. Okay, and it seems to be coming that
Staples
way.
are still just melting away.
story's not
Walmart's
over
leading
yet,
a lot
so
of it. Again, Walmart's at $1 trillion now.
It does that. It lowers the trading barriers, which is the right thing, because we can compete in most areas. I mean, a Chevy shouldn't cost $150,000 in Germany. It should not. Where a Volkswagen.
Damn, the
is
Nvidia's
just,
down too.
A normally priced vehicle here.
Well, we'll see. You're going to get another follow. It might sell when they announce it.
And instead, we're
I just want
making
to see
a
what
lot
they're
of
going
money
to actually
on
do.
the Volkswagens coming in here, and I'm just hoping that's temporary. But for the most part, I think what Trump has done and is doing, I tend to agree with.
Another big, I guess, news item this morning is Disney just
Whirlpool. I think
its new
Whirlpool would
CEO,
make more
and I've been
sense. That's
following
why they're up
the
7.
Paramount situation
Whirlpool over
on Netflix,
restoration.
but just generally, there's a lot
We're talking
going on in
affordability.
media, and Disney, obviously, you guys were.
I don't know
around
anything
and-
about that.
No, I haven't been following that one. But a big point of your campaign was, succession planning, and Disney has had starts and stops along the way in finding its new leader to replace Iger. And I wonder if you think Josh DeMiro is the guy.
Well,
Hasbro
I
even
didn't
going up.
think there was
So again,
any choice.
discretionary consumer
Okay,
staples are killing it.
because
Nasdaq's still down 1. We're near the
Iger
low.
needs a reason
And
to
Euro
stay
closing
on.
an hour.
And
So
if
he killed 30 more minutes. We'll see what happens at Euro. And then that news woke up a lot, but that just supported the rotation theme. Yeah, and Homebuilders, shit like that.
Now he's got poor Josh, who
Josh?
You'll find the statement. Josh doesn't know anything about the
What?
movie business, the entertainment.
I know a lot. I told y'all about tariffs, Nelson.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
See if I'm wrong. Okay.
All right, long term.
Bob has done that a couple of times.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, you talking Disney?
We sold our stock.
I could have been the CEO of Disney,
the
dog.
day the proxy
I know, you
price
just cooked my ass,
was
bro. What'd I
over
do?
At 119.
The fuck?
That's not quite.
I
2
thought,
years
man,
ago.
we had similar
The stock
hairlines
was
too.
about
I don't,
155
man,
yesterday.
Right.
that's
So the
crazy.
market, if it just
He
kept
low key
pace
like
with the
half bald
market,
maxing, and he came
the
out
stock
swinging.
would be a shade under 200. So that's what happened when you beat us in a proxy fight. Okay, you gave away about 90 points.
I think we're just rotating again. There's been good earnings
and I say
and
that
value,
humbly
and then you got
because
this little tech
we-
started off
we
halfway
had a
decent,
very good
but then started
plan
selling
for
off. It
this.
could be some of the
It
pre-earnings
didn't- it
jitters.
wasn't a balance
That
sheet
makes a
plan.
lot
It
of
wasn't
sense, even though
leveraging
earnings
up.
have
It
done good.
wasn't
But
buying
today's just a
back stock.
rotationary day. Russell, Staples,
creating
discretionaries, now industrials.
real
they're all
momentum
killing it.
to the
But
operating
SPY's coming back
business.
down.
And I'll tell you this, it was interesting. We had one meeting with management and the board, only one in-person meeting. And when
Kroger's
they
starting to
brought
go up.
management
More
in, and
grocery
this is-
stores.
This is a very telltale
And the Procter
sign.
Gambles, the
I've done this
Walmarts, even
as
damn
many
Kimberly.
times as we have. The management they brought in the room, they brought in about
Yeah,
8,
Tesla woke up, and then a
9
couple other
people.
tech names.
There
But
was
not too many.
one
More
person
down than
in
not.
that room
And then Whirlpool's still going. That
without
one's
P&L
interesting.
responsibility.
Then MO, even Macy's now. It's another retail store.
Okay.
Anything
not
not
the way
tech
to
is
go
going
at
up,
all.
and then the SPY's getting dragged down by
It's the men
all of
and
the tech
women
going
who
down. This
create
has to be like a
sales
Microsoft or
and
NVIDIA.
EBIT
Yeah,
other
both of them.
people
Both
you wanna
Microsoft and
talk to.
NVIDIA is just
You
drilling.
wanna let 'em do
Not
their
too bad,
job
but it's
and
you know,
get out
NVIDIA's
of the
down
way,
3 right
get
now.
all the clutter out of the way. And
So
if
don't
they
be
do a good
deceived. I
job,
mean, the
promote
Dow's
'em,
still
pay
barely
more,
up. I
and
think
if not,
Equal might
keep
be
it up
holding
there.
on. Yeah, Equal near the high.
That
So this is just the
confirmed
tech effect, sadly.
everything
Costco's
that I
even going
felt
up now.
about
Now Dollar
Disney
Tree,
at that point.
Dollar Tree and Kroger
Everybody
just started
was a
going.
staff job who came
So
up.
literally, Kroger 2%
work
right
cut
there.
out for him.
These are all kind of
He's
fresh
got
highs.
Time will tell.
And I hope he's given the opportunity.
I like
to do it.
Latin American markets.
And
I think
during
especially
that
now with the
fight,
dollar
during
too.
that campaign,
I mean,
just
some
like
more than
any
others. Like
proxy
Brazil
fight
is one to
nowadays,
keep an
the
eye on.
role of-
And then
the idea
Mexico
of
is more
shareholder
tied to the
democracy, role of
USMCA,
proxy
but
advisors,
I mean,
which is
they're
ISS,
usually when the
Glass
dollar
Lewis,
does what it's doing
continues to
now,
be a big kind
they
of
benefit
debate and point
for a
of,
little bit.
Conversation.
Just all,
You have
it'll all
Jamie
depend on
Dimon
both the
come out
economy and
say
final
JP
like trade
Morgan
deals.
is getting away with them and
But I'm a big
using
fan.
AI
Big fan
instead
of,
to replace
Latin
these
America.
proxy advisors, and just I'm curious.
I did
your
sell
thoughts
emerging
on
market
the
plays,
role
though, this
that-
morning.
That these
They're
kind
still
of-
up, though.
The proxy
like-
advisors, in my opinion, not the issue. Certainly, most of them liked us. Okay.
Microsoft's
What
still
I
on the
think
low
real
now,
issue
new lows.
is the index funds. And
Tap? Are they
are
doing
the
Trump
only
beers or something?
shareholder
I'm not.
who
Hey, listen, I'm
really
not against
doesn't
it,
care
but
if the stock
again,
goes
these
up or down.
staples, the rotation today, or
And
like anything
that's
value
a
is just
problem,
killing it.
because they're the biggest shareholders. Okay, I wanna talk to a man or woman who cares if it goes up or has got a short on the stock. I know where they stand, and my goal is to interact with them. But when the biggest shareholders, who own roughly 25% of most companies today, are the index funds, who don't care if that stock goes up or down, and that 25% becomes 30, 35% because everybody doesn't vote, but they do. Okay? So they really swing the cat around.
No,
the room.
nail is not a long term. Please
They don't have
don't
a dog
deceive
in the
yourself.
hunt. Okay, and that.
Why do I
gotta
say
change.
that?
And
Because
I
it's
know
a
there's
Direction
talk of
daily 3
legislation,
times bull shares.
and-
Calm
and
your fucking
boy, I
shit.
hope they pass.
That's like buying the
I wanna talk to
UVXY
people
for the
who
long
care if
term.
stock
Not
goes
a
up,
good
care
idea.
if it goes down.
You could trade it.
Those are the
So
people
again,
I-
if you
I
wanted to
care
lever
about.
up that move,
Not
like
the man
even
or
then
woman
though,
who just owns the stock
we
and
were early
keeps
enough,
getting a fee,
especially if
whether
you're
it
on the
goes up
locked
or
in.
down, doesn't
I don't know if
matter.
you guys heard my voice with
No,
it,
that'll be an
and you heard the
interesting
little
one to
alert,
watch.
but that was good
We're
enough
running
for
out of time.
400%.
One more thing, I'd
just
be
being there.
remiss
But if
not
you
to
really
ask
wanted
you,
to
so I
lever
know
it up,
you
could have hit
had
nail.
tons of
But
experience
do not
negotiating
put that in the
high-stakes
long term.
situations,
I think that's a
particularly
very bad
playing out
move.
in public view. and particularly with your family.
I like
Your daughter
EWZ. It's just up a
recently
lot.
has
Had my family
But I
been
played it the other
impressed
day. I
lately?
still have one more, I think.
I haven't noticed that at all.
But I just wonder, from your perspective, if you've been able to, you offer your family any advice on how to navigate such situations.
I do.
I do.
I do.
It's good advice.
I
Yes.
do.
Sometimes they give me advice. My advice is stay the hell out of the press. I mean, so how much good did that do? But, you know, that my daughter and the Beckhams are a whole other story, and that's not for coverage here today. But I'll tell you, my daughter is great. My son-in-law, Brooklyn, is great, and I look forward to them having a long, happy marriage together.
And she's got another movie on the way.
Yeah,
right?
she
I don't
does.
know if
She
I
got two more.
Uranium,
I watched the first
and then
one,
the
so
what's it called
keep an
plays are
eye
going
out.
I
out.
will.
The critical minerals.
Well, Nelson, I could do
They're
this
just
all
at least
day.
holding
You're
up.
awesome, and thanks for joining us again. Thank you for the audience sitting through this, and we got a wrap now. And I believe
That's
after
it?
this, we actually have a 20-minute break.
All right, Nelson Peltz. I thought you'd get more headlines from that, from young Nelson. Oh, you got Ken Griffin going on? Yeah, Ken Griffin's the next guy up in 20 minutes. Trump wins Republican holdouts on spending deal. So yeah, government shutdown, it might end. We're going to find out. Yeah, Tesla did. Tesla's one of the only ones that's actually rocketing up right now on the high. So in the name of a lot of tech getting clapped today, they have woken up. And then CMG, that's at earnings. Remember, they're going to be after the bell. Again, uranium and critical minerals still holding. And then anything staple, discretionary. So watch, too, if we get any sort of bounce to VWAP and it's tech-driven, watch the, like, Walmarts, Proctors, all of that to go up. The energy plays. Yesterday, I liked some of them, and then I think you have, like, you had today, and then tomorrow you're going to get some more catalyst. Not like energy, but like critical minerals I'm more interested in. Energy, I just use as a guide. I don't really like energy in the long term. I'm kind of weird like that. I prefer biotech and healthcare. But energy, I would just kind of use as a gauge here for the economy, inflation. Again, the days where oil is really ripping are a little bit more choppier, and then vice versa. Lower energy has been generally bullish, and I think you need it for the run it hot theme. And then if we do run it hot, you view oil and energy as a gauge. But I still think it's important. I mean, that's kind of, last year it was way more energy. Minerals got a lot more activity. And then it started to kind of chill out. But we started this year off with a couple more headlines. So I think it's going to be there with that 12 billion critical mineral stuff. But it's definitely not as early. We're at a second stage of that all. It's not playing it. Kind of like you saw the hype today on the Homebuilder shit. That's new information. I've never heard of it. That's why you kind of saw the reaction. But, you know, I think energy's at stage 2 of all that hype. Energy and minerals. The Homebuilder. Broadcom on the low, man. More fucking tech. SanDisk stopped dying. I mean, that was a crazy rally from the morning. It's done that many times to go back to break even. DHI's XDVs on Thursday. They all chilled out here a little bit. Like I'm saying, we need to know that's a fat move, dude. They were up like 1 or 2 already, but that was like 4% in a short amount of time. And then we got to find out what the actual details are. But I even think once we get the details, it might sell a little bit. Unless it happens like overnight, then it'll gap up and then sell. Tesla, bro, still going. Well, dude, it's not like the mornings so far this year. They've been kind of slow. That's why I'm hoping February gets volatility or anything else. But this time we actually got like, that was just a new development. I've never heard of this Trump homes thing. But it meets the theme of the whole affordability. So if I could guess, I think they're going to try to like offer an incentive where certain people can qualify for homes that are going to be either discounted, but it's going to be through new builds. Or they're going to make it easier to get financing or low financing from new builds with, paired up with Trump and the government and new builds essentially. So then that way you don't screw over all the other homeowners, but they'll probably just offer low rates. You know how many people don't know that new builds can offer low rates? They're probably just going to politicize that and just offer some sort of deal where if you buy a new home, still going to be expensive, or it'll still be near the prices they're at now, but you're just going to get it at like 3% interest, which would be down, but then it might be for like first-time home buyers or certain people, credit score, employed, you know. They might, I have no idea. I'm just spitballing, but we will see, Habibi. We will see. Anytime, my friend, anytime. But yeah, that was the first. I mean, so far, though, the mornings haven't been like that insane. But that was a good one. If we get any new info, and that's why, too, you know, follow along with the context in that way. If anything is new, you'll know when it's there. So it's good we got that info quick, but then it also stood out as very, just like, what the fuck is this? I still think restoration, bro. And then Chipotle, they gapped up a little bit. They all lost it. So it's still, I mean, it's up 5-6%, but yeah, they all kind of chilled out. Again, even Nail a little bit. So again, I think people are going to wait for it first. They're going to wait for the next update. And then SPY's coming down, though. Look at the low ticker. More tech, Qualcomm. Damn, is Unity's even lower. So again, with the whole VO, or the Gem, was it VO3 or whatever? Well, yeah, those are all starting to come down. But yeah, a lot more tech sell-off. A couple of names held, but so not so much, Habibi. Genie, yeah, that's what it was. Ba-da-ba-ba-bap. Well, dude, the Rocket. Remember, Penny Mac the other day went down 30%, and then Rocket came out this morning, and then they're like, we've seen the most mortgage applications in like 4 years, which is, I haven't heard that, so we'll find out, but that would be a good sign. And then, but that does all tie to it. Eco 8 still up. You're like back right near the opening yesterday, which again, we did gap down. I'm logging into the long time. Because again, dude, value stocks killed it today. So that's what I'm saying. Like the ISM mixed in with these earnings, it's like, it's only been 1 month, but that theme of value holding up, and this year in this rotation, it's actually been very good. So that's what I'm saying. I think you get a little bit more confirmation of that. Rent to own? Wow. That would be crazy. A government rent to own program. Because a lot of the rent to own shit's like scammy. Like you'll see those Craigslist ones. That'd be kind of insane. But then I don't know if they'd want that, because I think they want mortgages. Because the more mortgages, the more demand for the bonds. Low key. Interesting, though. It's a good take. SPY going up. Egyptian Tiger. What do you think about PayPal? I see a dead cat bounce. Wow, I've never been called an Egyptian Tiger. I kind of like it, but I don't know. So PayPal, I mean, same exact opinion I've had on it last couple of weeks. But I do like the price of it, but I don't like the quality. So right now, if we run it, like if Kimberly Clark keeps running, if no other earnings get clapped and we can't get, you know, a better deal, it might be the only one left. But for now, you still have a couple of viable opportunities. So, you know, I'd wait. And even then, after a 20% move or something, you do want to let the dust settle a little bit. But I am... I've been saying this for a couple weeks. I mean, this isn't new. I mean, it's the same exact answer because a lot of people were asking me. PayPal kept going lower, lower, lower. It's the same. The price is one thing and, is already at a fair price. But like I'm saying, the quality of it and the other relative opportunities of higher quality, lower price names, that's what I would prefer. Like I said, I don't want to go. I think it's a bargain bin. I don't want to go to the bargain bin yet when there's some good name brands that are still on sale. But again, like that's what I was just saying here. Like this first month of the year, a lot of these names that like last year, some of you would say I was pumping. I was just trying to plug y'all in and get y'all early and high quality. Because I don't know if you remember, like last year I was yelling about the staples and we were talking about the rotation and I was very clear on it. That's why, some people I was even saying, bro, why the fuck you got 40, 50% cash? You should just be buying a very high quality staple name that's been down, and now that trend has gone on and stayed on for a decent amount of time. It usually fades by now if it is going to fade, but anything could happen. You still have time, but I wanted that XLP bag. I would have taken anything in that. You would have been fucking killing it. But other than that, I wouldn't have, for now, if you run out of any of those names, there's still a couple lagging. That's why I like Kimberly. But other than that, once we run out of like pure high quality staple, even discretionary good value names, then we could go to the PayPals, then the Adobes, and anything else in between. All right, you're getting a little bit of lift there. Couple names still. You got airlines, that's industrials technically, but then you got the minerals still climbing. Do I like Adobe more than PayPal? Yes and no. They're different, but Adobe's more quality, but with more the irony of Adobe, Adobe, you have more risk because of how high it is and kind of how it's been and the AI risk and all that, where I think PayPal's kind of already near the floor, but I do think Adobe, if they turn it around and they do good, that thing is you could double up your money or get 50%. Same thing with PayPal though at this point. But yeah, they both come high risk, high reward, but I would say Adobe is better quality. I mean, Adobe makes more money, higher margins, but they also run a different set of risks. The eye of the Egyptian tiger. No one's ever called me Egyptian tiger. It's fascinating. So thank you for that. Would you say we're at the midpoint? Well, we're either at the midpoint or the end of it. But because I kept saying, like, usually a lot of years people start off and they're like staple rotation, AI, it needs to benefit, and then it fades right away. So the fact that it hasn't faded and is hitting new highs, it's either really going to fucking hit or it's going to end at any moment. But like I'm saying, though, like I really do believe in the value. And then just the fact of the whole run it hot theme, where everything's going, the value comparatively, even if we get any risk, that's the other part. Tech sells off. What the fuck? People are not going to back out, right? You could go sell off every chip right now and have some bad AI news. I don't think people are going to run to cash. Go look at gold. Go look at all the other shit that we're dealing with. They're going to go buy a high-quality asset that's cash flowing a fuck ton and has a really good balance sheet. So, and that's kind of what's happened. So it's a mix of the value, the demand, the technology, but then also, too, it's just safety. It's safety with a lot of upside because, some of these names, like, again, Procter & Gamble was even back to 2016 prices at some point. Or 2020, you went back 5-6 years. So a lot of them are just pretty solid. Then there's the Walmarts of the world, which are at all-time highs, and Costco's, but at the same time, there's still a lot of good balance sheets, good quality companies making a lot of money. No matter what happens here with the economy, they're not gonna do too bad, especially if they don't have a lot of debt. That makes them even better. So that's kind of how that theme developed from last year. And this just all goes back to what I was screaming with the year-to-date laggers. Go to Slick Charts. Go look at all of those because they did offer a fucking crazy opportunity. And that's what I was saying. I put it in every single video. We talked about it on the long-term ones, and I didn't want to overhype it because I don't like the whole pumping thing. And not all of these I didn't benefit off of them, like I was saying with Pepsi and all that. But I really wanted you guys to see the opportunity when it was right in front of you. Now that it's up 15%, I'm not as excited about it unless it's still down, and that's why, You know, you have to respond in the moment, let your portfolio speak to you, but you're seeing it. So I do think it's going to hold up, but at the same time, anytime this has happened though, eventually after a big rally like that, it could start to go down. So that's the thing though. If you're positioned at those prices, even if it drops from now, you're still going to probably be up. Yeah, slick charts. That was the whole... Remember, we were talking slick charts a lot. That was the whole idea. So that's what sucks, though, because every single one of those names, man, at least a couple hundred of them, those are the ones that just took off this year. A lot of those laggers. There's some of them. I mean, it's definitely... There is opportunity on some, but it's just different. It's just like Pepsi, just like any of those other names. I don't like them after they run up 10, 15%. I don't know if I'm too cheap. I don't know if it's my culture, how my parents raised me. I don't know if it's because I've been burned by buying high. It could be a lot of reasons, but I like it at the bottom, especially because it's not like we didn't have that shot. You know what I'm saying? That's where it was like, remember, at this moment last year, think about it. We were ripping all-time highs. Things were going crazy. How many times did you hear people say things are too expensive? Things are too expensive. So that's why I was like, nah, dude, we had something that wasn't. There was something that was not too expensive, and now it's higher to start off this year than any point of last year and 2024. So that's why it's like there is a couple of them, but to get in now, I don't feel the same way about it. It doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It doesn't mean what I said wasn't true, but it's just a different risk to reward. It's a different opportunity. So if you could find the good names that are lagging, that barely moved, and meet that criteria of high quality, by all means, that's exactly why I've ran it with Kimberly-Clark. But I'm glad we stacked up a couple of those at the end of the year. Even TAP was able to get a nice 10%. So it's like you ride those out. And then too, if you miss it, no worries. I wouldn't fucking trip. I would just say, what's the next set? And we're going to have a whole nother set of opportunities. You know, this year just started. We'll see where these staples and everything settle. And then before you know it, we're going to have a whole nother set of draft class picks and then go from there. Which one was that? Nice. Yeah, the Russell back up to 1%. That's where we were, kind of like right up here. So Russell's actually advancing. And Marriott, again, more consumer staple discretionary plays are still going. A GEV breakout. There's a lot up here, man. Yeah, we're the home builders. They just chilled after that. That was a nice move, though, if you caught it. Apple's starting to go up again, too. If you could get any love with the tech stocks, that'll be great. But for now, it's still these staples kind of leading the way. Would I add to Fiserv if Kimberly's off the table? It just depends where your portfolio is. But, like, do you understand the difference between those? Because, like, I was buying these little tech stocks. Just go look at the sizing. I was just throwing small amounts on those deep value growth names because I was just making sure we got a little bit of everything. But I was definitely biased towards the higher quality ones, either below book value or the names that were borderline bulletproof. So like Fiserv and Kimberly-Clark are nothing alike. So just so if you can't get Kimberly-Clark, I wouldn't view Fiserv as a viable secondary. You get what I'm saying? I was just throwing Fiserv, Sweetgreens, Chipotle. Those were the riskier ones. So we were throwing a tenth of the deposit, maybe, or splitting one deposit in between two or three of them. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't. It was a lot different than a Kimberly-Clark. As far as the staples and the deep value, Kimberly-Clark is one of the only ones left there, and it's not the same as a Fiserv is a much lower quality. Like Kimberly could be an anchor. Fiserv is more, you're going to get lucky. And that's what I said even in the video. If you go watch the Fiserv, you know, we got that there, and we put a much smaller amount. Is Fiserv about to go down? I think he reacted with paper. Yeah, I'm down on that one now. So I was up on it since we bought it. That's the first time it's dropped. Because again, I bought it like $62. We bottom ticked that shit. Let's see. So again, if you want to see what we did last year, just do this. It's obviously going to be different, but this is one of the best things. You just keep an eye on those year-to-date laggers. And then let's see what we got. Like right now, geez, SanDisk is still the leader. So yeah, IT, Intuit, App. These are all tech stocks. Do you guys notice that? Humana, maybe. Humana's down 25. But then that's going to meet the, what's it called? That meets the fucking, the healthcare criteria. Yeah, none of these are fucking staples. None of these are like high quality. They're higher quality growth names. But none of these are damn, like, really big companies that are more, safer and safe. It's just stability. You know, compared to last year, everything on the bottom was just a name that like you all knew about that just wasn't sexy. It just wasn't really attractive. Abbott maybe, and they just had that 11% drop in one day. So yeah, we might have to wait a little. Maybe we'll see once this changes, once this staple rotation stops. Again, and when they stop, it stops dramatically, so I wouldn't really be too mad if you missed it. Oh, no more Trump beer? Come on. Sipping on some Fiserv. Colombian presidents at the White House. Yeah, bro. Those Sony Vaio laptops back in the day, they went hard. I just liked how they looked. I feel you, bro. That and then Alienware. Fiserv. Well, be careful. You have earnings on the 10th. So if you're going to, like, think about how I did Kimberly. That one had earnings, and I bought it before earnings because I had a deposit coming in a couple days. So Fiserv is either going to fucking rip 10% or it's going to take another 10%. So plan accordingly if you do want to add to that. And then, two, make sure you got others. Like, if you have the, like, good value, if you picked up good XLP, Kimberly's, even a PG, you got a Pepsi, a Target, something that's already up like 10, 20%, then you could throw a small amount towards a little bit of growth. That makes sense. But if you don't, I would highlight quality still. But not a recommendation. Let your portfolio speak to you. Should you turn off drip for your account? No, that's like saying your life is so great you should stop reading the Bible. No. Never turn off drip. I actually had this talk with my girl the other day because she was asking me about drip. And she said, why don't you just take the deposit? And I said, because you're never going to fucking do it on your own. I'd rather pay the little slippage and just have it automatically, always working. So, yeah, if I were you, I would never turn off drip. You know, the biggest risk to your money sometimes is you. Even myself, I've learned that at various times. Sometimes if I just did nothing, I'd make more money. So if you got drip, I wouldn't really be focused on where the stock price is. I would just again, the best example we have is ABVI. You know, that stock has been going up since we've damn bought it. And we've dripped all the way up and down and up and down and up and down. It's automatic. You don't got to worry about it. It compounds. And, that's the best part is that because I don't like buying stocks that are up. I don't like paying a premium. So if I have it on drip, that's a way to keep adding to the stock without having to, chase it and be buying all the time. And, it allows you to still keep growing with it. We're going to get Ken Griffin quotes in here in a little bit here. Pep, Merck, and Target. See, then you got a good setup. If you got those, you could look and put a little bit amount towards these growth names that are now down 30%. You see what I'm saying? Just like the chart I was just showing you guys. The year-to-date laggers, if you bought them last year when they were down, you got a nice setup. And now if you're like, what do I buy? You could I wouldn't go too big on them, but you could now buy these cheaper growth stocks. And then you're even getting those at a better price than you would have last year. You are literally working your money. You see what I'm saying? Because when the good names were down, you got more of them. And then now when the growth names are down, you're getting more of them with the same amount of money you would have been spending. So now you're maximizing your dollar at that moment. And that's NVO is kind of dumping. BLS will not be collecting February CPI data. U.S. pauses data release and collection. Boo. So yeah, I like that. If you grab, that's what I was trying to explain to you guys last year. Think about it. And we bought Intel. We bought it low. It went up. It opened up the door. We bought a little bit more names that were lagging. We could have threw a couple like the Chipotles and the riskier ones, the Fiserv, Sweet Greens. But you do it in size. You take advantage of what's a good deal in front of you. But then again, you need to highlight and focus on quality. But if you played your cards right, you're in a good setup. That's what I'm saying now. It's a lot easier to navigate this market when you're buying the good stuff when it's cheaper, not overpaying for the stuff you really wanted. And now most of the stuff people wanted last year, you're getting it at a fairly better price. PDYN, zero hedge long, nice. But yeah, that was up 20 today. I forgot about that. But yeah, we already got that from the other day, but they lagged a little bit. A double dip may have been way better. They were cheap this morning. Oracle and Palo Alto. I like that better than buying them higher. And if you got the value to support it, it's solid. You just got to work it around and just be careful though too. Make sure you don't let your good position turn bad by now flipping to too much growth. When again, we still got a full year ahead. That's kind of what I'm saying here. These staples might flip, but then if they flip, the growth should come up. Otherwise, if they all come down, just still keep a little bit of cash so you could take advantage of it. Everybody in the CME. These reports being closed off? What do you mean? The report? What report? Packer Energy is going up. XOM's actually ripping. And then Nail kind of leveled out. I don't know where the other home builders are. AT&T keeps climbing too. I don't know if that's word to the yeah, Staples are climbing back up again. Russell chill back out again. It was at 0.9, now it's at 0.7. Nasdaq still down 1. Again, equal weight's holding up pretty decent. But yeah, we're still kind of in that setup. And then yeah, it is earnings season. So again, today's been all about a rotation, but you've still got that earnings season lingering in the background. Didn't S have a headline the other day? Yeah, they're down 7. Verizon, AT&T, and then XOM are going crazy. Now even RTX is waking up. RTX actually just took a $2 pop. And then UNH dying a little bit, just kind of flush in. Remember, Humana is one of the worst on the year. Iran, we have the Iran stuff died over the weekend. They didn't really hype it up. And then this morning there was another comment on de-escalation. So as of now, the Iran stuff, definitely compared to the last 2 weeks, it's a lot chiller. Dassault and NVIDIA partner to build industrial AI platform. What's Dassault? Is that French or is it like the assault, son? I don't know what the assault is. I don't even know how to say it. Dassault Systems, DASTF. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of ADRs. Oh, the government shut. It's just, I hate it. It's not affecting the economy. Like, I hope you guys see that, because a lot of people were asking me about the shutdown, and they were like, is it gonna fuck with the market? No, but it just, the shit that sucks is that it delays this data. I think it even slashed a little bit off the GDP. Trump was talking about that yesterday, but it would be nice to have the data, especially now that some of the data was promising yesterday, and it looks like, you know, bigger, hard macro data might be moving. It would just be a lot easier to monitor. But then again, like we talked about during the first shutdown, there's a lot of other ways to monitor it. So, but it's literally just annoying. It's actually one of the most annoying things, but it doesn't really change much. It's just whack. And then I think it does kind of highlight some of the back and forth, or the changing a goalpost by the Fed, because with or without the data, they're still acting the damn same, which is kind of funny. Humana versus UNH. Humana is a little bit cheaper. UNH is way better quality. But then UNH has a little bit more headwinds to deal with. But as of now that both of them are knocked, I would probably go with UNH. I already own Humana. So, but that's why we'll just play the game. I don't care about the company as much as I care about the industry in that case. If you don't, though, all you care about is value, you could go buy a healthcare right now. UNH or Humana, you're getting a good deal, but you might have to wait a year or two for that shit to move. Maybe a year and a half. So I like UNH, but I think it's not going to move till the end of the year, maybe even middle 2026 or 2027. That's just kind of the healthcare trends. Or we'll see after midterms, or even then, depending on as we get closer to the election, or if we could find out what they, where they're going with that little Medicare case. Yeah, you get a dividend if you want it. If all you care about is value, those are some of the best value plays in the world right now. I got to actually double check comparative to the world, but I think it should hold up. That was my take at 240. And then fucking Buffett came in. But it's just timing. It could be dead money for a little bit. Yeah, around 240, 230, we had that talk. Tell me why. Oh shit, when did those expire? We got old dead Walmarts came back to life. Those are from a couple weeks ago. I'm making those free. Those were dead. Now they're up a couple 100%. Tell me why. All right, long term. ETN? Weren't they part of that deal, or is that ETQ? There was something this morning. I think it is them. KO? Yeah, we've had KO though. So that's why I like Pepsi so much. Well, again, Pepsi is a lot higher. So you've been here for a while too, man. But we've owned Coca-Cola for several years. I don't even know where this shit is. Where are you, Coca-Cola? Do you see the Coca-Cola? How come I don't see a Coca-Cola? I see a Emo Cola. Where the fuck is Coke? Did I not have it in this portfolio? I guess not. The fuck? Yeah, I only have Coca-Cola on the big one, so I might have sold out of it when we bought the farm. I swear I had Coca-Cola in here. Am I tripping? Yeah, bro. I swear we had Coke in here. I guess not. We only bought it on the other one. I think because it ripped. But yeah, I think you should be up at all-time highs on that one. I had it in the big account and sold it for the farm. So unfortunate. That's why Pepsi was so attractive, but they're both high now. I think it's a great company, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, but I wouldn't touch them at this point. Just because, again, man, a month ago, 2 months ago, you could have stole all of these names. You could have got them really cheap. So they're good names. That's why I think they're up right now. But I wouldn't. My first idea wouldn't be to buy them now at the highest price. I don't know if Cold Sister. I don't think she got. Because I was buying that with MO. But yeah, I guess I only had it in the big account, and that thing was fucking phenomenal. Sad. Oh yeah, Cold Sister doesn't even have it. But yeah, man, that's why Pepsi was kind of very attractive at that time. So I think we were up like 70%, maybe more. Does anybody still have the Coke? How much is it up? That's what I'm saying. It's up a ton. Then you got all the divvy yields, and I think we were yielding like 3 or 4% on it. Defeat is still going up. But Pepsi was down. Yeah, because we already owned Coca-Cola. But I swear it was in the small account, but I guess I was wrong. We had it in the big account. Because again, I was buying it in 2022, 2021. I think we were in at like 45 or 50. So that was at the all-time high, but that's what made Pepsi so attractive because they've tracked each other very, very well. Then Pepsi declined a little bit, as I was saying, around here. And even what? So literally 2 weeks ago, you could have got Pepsi a little bit higher. It wasn't at our range, but it was still, that's what I'm saying. To have this discussion now, I just think you kind of missed it. And then if you got it, GG's. ETN gold is rocketing up right now. Again, that gold is up 6.8. And then now silver is taking the candle in tandem up 11. You bought, yeah, you have it at 48.80. Yeah, you got it low, dude. That's what I'm saying. I'm not really, that's why Pepsi was a little gift there if you ended up taking it. And Pepsi lagged for a couple months. But everything else now. I mean, if you want any of those names, you're going to probably have to wait. 2021, you're in at 48.79. Habibi. 60% plus divvies. I'm down, bro. That's what I'm saying. That was a solid pickup. It's a good company. Just the price is your only issue. Yeah, you definitely learn the principles even if you missed it. And that's what I'm saying, though. Just like the fucking revolving door, bro. You know, if those are in a good play right now, what is? That just like we were talking about last year, all of these values were at the low. And that was a good play then. Now, some of them aren't. That's fine. What is a good play? And then, be patient. And as long as you're going to stick with the month by month and you are going to really follow through with the long-term plan, you didn't really miss out on anything. It's just the timing of putting your money to work. And that's it. So that's why just let the draft class come to you, my friend. You ain't got to chase it. Tesla even all the tech names, man. You're back to 105, and Russell's gave up half of that little rally. This is like a little half day on the Russell. Commodities. Let's see, where's oil? At least oil's not running too much. But yeah, equal weight's even coming down, so some of these other ones might be getting clobbered. It's all a tech rotation. It sucks though. It's just all what's it called? It's just all earnings. So again, if AMD does good, people will get excited tomorrow. And then too, if AMD does bad, people are going to get worried about the Google stuff and all that, but that's still coming. You missed the first harvest, but tell me about the second one. Amen, bro. Amen. Meta partners with Nigeria Data Protection Commission to launch a privacy education campaign in Nigeria. And Mexico, bro. Did all the other ones go up? Man, I might have sold those EEMs too early. No, that was a good sell in the morning. But yeah, a lot of the emerging plays are still up. Again, gold or dollars down, and then gold and silver are literally right near the highs. What's silver spot price at? 88.86. Happy Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. The U.S. House now holding first vote to move changes a government funding package to end a partial shutdown. Oh, Ken Griffin.
From a national security
Not the baseball player.
And
That's
at the
Ken
same
Griffey.
time, policies
This is the guy who scams
tariffs.
you. Go. I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Follow me on
Some of the
Instagram
rhetoric
at the
from
Trading
administration
Fraternity.
has-
10 more minutes, too, till Euro close. So remember, Europe did
And
pretty
at the
bad
end of the
today.
day, I
So
do
we'll see if we get
believe
any
that
sort of big fluctuation
when
there.
it's all said and done, if you are the strongest nation in the world, you are going to be predisposed to having a strong currency. And that strong currency, that reserve currency status, reduces your cost of capital, brings down interest rates, all else being equal, increases the quality of living for those citizens of that nation, and allows us to engage in the global economy on a much stronger footing. Yes, it makes exports a bit more challenging, but the fact that we can amass so much capital and deploy it across corporate America is stunning. You know, if you think about it, there's very few companies in Europe with a market cap of north of $10 billion. Anthropic raised that in a couple days just recently to fuel their continued growth in their AI business. I mean, the juxtaposition between the strength of America's capital markets and virtually every other country in the world is breathtaking. And we want to protect that ability for American firms to raise tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars, whether it's to build hyperscale data centers, whether it's to pursue pharmaceutical R&D, leaves us in an envied position by the rest of the world.
So what do you think the administration needs to do to sort of make sure that that supremacy is maintained? Like, is it on the right fiscal track to do that?
So we need to increase fiscal discipline in the United States. We're late in an economic cycle. We don't know if we're in the 6th inning or 7th inning or 8th inning, but very few cycles run as long as this cycle has run, and we're still running a significant deficit. At this point in the economic cycle, we should be running close to a break even. I mean, if you're not paying down your national debt at moments like this, when will you pay it down? Mm-hmm. And the fact that we're still running a very large annual deficit does tell you that too much of the economy is being supported by the sugar high of fiscal spending. We need to dial that back. We need to have more discipline in both spending and thoughtfulness in how we generate revenues. Like, we need to put our fiscal house in order. And I do worry that that's lost attention and focus in Washington. And I know the president has to be frustrated. You know, his first term, his tax cuts were about reigniting growth in America, right? And to get Americans to, in essence, be bolder again, right? How do we increase investment? How do we increase productivity? And he's trying to play the same playbook again. But what I think is being missed in this analysis is the incredible amount of spending during the pandemic, right? That 3-year era of profligate spending, just out of control spending. We need to deal with the reality that we need to pay that debt down. And America did this after World War II, and America should be doing that again here today.
And how I mean, politically though, it's a difficult, needle to thread, that one. How would you, if you had the presidency, what would you say to him? What should he do to bring that deficit down?
Look, the United States, I'm not sure if I have the exact pronunciation right, but Simpson-Bowles was the committee formed decades ago to address this issue in a prior administration. You need, and I know this sounds very almost fanciful, you need to get bipartisan agreement on the steps we're going to take to put our fiscal house in order. And here's the big issue. Politicians deferring some of these decisions means that the impact of future decisions will be so much more painful for the American people. Like, that's what we're really doing, is we're not deferring some fixed amount of pain. We're gonna cause far more pain 20 years down the road. I mean, could you imagine today being in your 20s and you see Social Security come out of your paycheck each and every year? Okay, will the government safety net be there for you when it's your turn to retire? That's a legitimate question, given the level of deficit spending we have today.
So another area of pain, certainly one that you've highlighted a lot, is that of tariffs, which for the last year has been this sort of flip-flopping story. 1 minute they're up, 1 minute they're down, one country's is up, whatever. Only yesterday we learned that tariffs on India are going to be cut to 18%. How difficult is it to sort of come up with an investment strategy thesis when this backdrop keeps changing all the time?
So, I've seen my colleagues firsthand have to grapple with this problem over the last year. I mean, all of us do in the money management business. How do you create a portfolio when every single company that you invest in can have the terms of engagement changed by the stroke of a pen in Washington? And this goes to, you often hear business people say, just
no, man, I came back. I'm
rules,
listening to Ken.
right?
I hate you.
And you sit there and go like,
That's Ken Griffin.
are they that
He hates you.
inflexible? Are they that unwilling to change? Like, can't they go with the flow? But the problem is that when you're running a business and you're trying to grow that business, you're making decisions that have horizons often of 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I mean, we're building a new office building in New York for Citadel. That's a 50 to 100 year horizon decision. Okay? If you tell me the rules of the road are going to change every couple of years, you make that decision a far more difficult choice. If you tell me the rules of the road are going to change every couple months, I'm best off making no decision.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where Washington needs to think about what is the pace of change it's trying to create in the economy, and having certainty or having a higher degree of confidence in what the rules of the road will be will actually help the president.
So gold futures about to go above 5,000 again. You got an Iran headline. Watch if oil moves off of it.
Strengthening America's manufacturing.
And then again, Euro close coming in 3 minutes.
Talking of
Do a push-up. Wow, Ken Griffin.
There was a big announcement last week.
Talks
the
to
new
you.
Fed chairman, Kevin Walsh. I wonder
Kevin
what you
Walsh.
made of that appointment, and also how you think he's going to manage in what's clearly going to be quite a tricky role.
Yeah, gold's going.
Look, the front runners in the choice coming into that decision day were Rick and Kevin. Both were outstanding candidates for the role. And I applaud the president for picking somebody who has, and both choices were great choices. But either
I love how he's leaving out Hassett.
Choosing a professional with credibility.
That's why I liked
global
Hassett.
Investors
Y'all don't
who
feel me.
understands economics, who will carry on the role of the chairman of the Fed to make the decisions that we need to make
Software
to
most
balance the
oversold.
risk
Dude,
of
it's the
inflation
bonds. It's the corporate
and
bonds
trying to
again, just like
maximize
last year. End of last year.
So I think the
But yeah,
president made
people
a
were talking
really
about corporate
solid choice
bonds
with
and like
Kevin.
software stocks
But
getting
I'm
decimated.
more impressed by a process that
And then
brought
now
us
we
to
have
two
this.
really strong candidates at the finish line. There's been a lot of debate around whether or not this administration was going to undermine the independence of the Fed. And frankly, they did some things that made that a legitimate question. But the choice by the president here, I think, is a powerful assertion that the Fed will maintain needed independence in policy decision making.
And then, so on the issue of inflation,
Low ticker is still picking up. Again, NVIDIA, bro. I just got NVIDIA and gold up here. But yeah, you got like the smaller software stocks selling off, and then NVIDIA and Microsoft. That's adding the bigger one as the other names rotate.
Unless they get that under control, it could cost them the midterms. I'm not quite sure when you said that, but anyway, what's your message to the White House as we head into the midterms in November?
You know, it's really interesting that, you know, there are a couple of issues that the president won this election with. One was the border and the chaos that we had on the southern border of the United States. And the president has been true to his word. He has secured the border. There's no doubt that there's a huge sigh of relief across our country that we're now in a position to pursue
Griffin, an ICE
thoughtful,
supporter?
legal immigration.
Oh, I'm going to go on Reddit. Reddit, you better tell him.
That's a huge
Oh, my
win by the
gosh.
president. And then the second area that was important.
Why don't y'all boycott the fucking Citadel?
Was the inflation of the Biden administration.
Dog, he just said he supports
prices in
ICE.
America
Low key.
rose at a stunning clip.
He said sigh of
in some
relief.
sense because of the same profligate.
Where my revolutionaries at? How y'all, you going to take this?
And what we saw was the American voter doesn't like the inflation genie out of the bottle. And in particular, if you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s, and you're seeing your purchasing power of your savings eroded,
I think the topics he's bringing up are relevant. I don't know. I wouldn't call him misleading. You don't have to agree with it all. I don't agree with him all
12
on
months,
what he's saying.
They've changed the dialogue from inflation, where they got killed by this administration in the elections, to the dialogue being affordability. Like, we changed one word. Yeah. All right? But what we're really talking about is the same set of issues, which is that for the American people, prices are a lot higher than they were 5 years ago. And the president, he's very right to be focused on how do I respond to the voters' angst and anxiety over inflation? The appointment of Kevin's a step in the right direction. The rolling back in tariffs and a number of goods that consumers buy day in, day out is a step in the right direction. The focus on housing affordability is a step in the right direction. I really do hope the president's able to make enough moves over the next few months to convince the American voters that he really is passionate about controlling the issue of inflation in the United States.
I wanted to ask you about sort of the dangers of crony capitalism. You are a big free market champion. You always have been, but there has been sort of, and you were very clear that you didn't like the regulatory burden of the previous administration, very outspoken on that. But now you've got a situation where, the government is taking stakes in companies. You've got sort of talk about a credit card, a cap on interest on credit cards.
Okay, little NVIDIA bounce. Again, Euro closed, so give it another like 15 minutes, but now till then, we'll see where this window takes us.
Sort of interference, given that America has to sort of take a stand against the biggest crony capitalist of all, China, or does that sort of behavior make you shudder?
Well, let's take a huge step back. Government has a really important role to play in the economy. It has an important role in the economy to ensure that consumers have fair and reasonable disclosure.
That one's coming back up.
When you're a consumer that picks
I haven't checked
card,
the premium since the
you
morning.
should be able to get through the fine print pretty quickly and understand the cost and interest rates you're going to pay. Government has a really important role in the economy in preventing externalities.
They haven't gone higher. So remember, they were up when the stock was down? Now the premiums are literally the same price, but then there hasn't been a trade in a minute.
So I think it's important to appreciate that no one, when they argue for less regulation, is arguing for a reversal of these very important policies that protect the safe and health and welfare of the American people. But what we are seeing today in Washington is something different. We're seeing this involvement of government in corporate America in a distinctly different way than 20 or 30 years ago. We saw the green shoots of this in the Obama and Biden administration when the government started to invest into the various green energy companies. And you and I both know a number of those companies ended up in bankruptcy, and all the money's just in some sense disappeared and into where. Yeah. And as a taxpayer, that's really frustrating. We have an incredible venture capital community in the United States. We don't need the U.S. government to pretend to be venture capitalists. They're not. All right, you've got Sequoia and New Enterprise and
And then they'll
you know,
just give money to
basically
Sam
a
Altman and Sam
tremendous
Bankman.
number of
We don't
great
fucking
VC
need
firms
your
in the
help.
United States. You don't
fuck?
need the U.S. government to pretend to be something it's not. And when the U.S. government starts to engage in corporate America in a way that tastes of favoritism, I know for most CEOs that I'm friends with, they find it incredibly distasteful. Like, we want to go run our businesses and win on the merits of providing a better customer to our products at a lower price. Like, that's how we win. And when you start to say that you're going to win or lose because you get a regulatory favor out of Washington, do you know what you say? God, I mean, I'm close to this administration, but does that mean the next administration is going to grant a favor to one of my competitors? Or take a favor away from me because I don't support them publicly? Like, most CEOs just don't want to find themselves in the business of having to, in some sense, suck up to one administration after another to succeed in running their business. They want to focus better products, better marketing, better distribution, more value created for their customers.
Papa John's.
Some of which is shared with their shareholders.
So these are all great points, and you know, we live in a world, in a country where people really look up to corporate leaders. Why is it so difficult?
Better
for,
customers, better
the corporate
prices,
world
Papa
to
John's.
to voice publicly?
I think
the
that's
sort of
how it
thing you're
goes.
saying now?
So I think there's a couple of challenges that corporate executives face on this front. You know, what we saw over the last, we go back over the last 10 years, companies that found themselves in the middle of the whole woke movement would find their products either embraced or ostracized by tens of millions of Americans overnight. And that's created a level of fear and apprehension amongst the corporate CEO class to insert themselves in any publicly facing issues these days. Like, the power of social media to persuade.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with
millions
half
of
of what
tens
he's
of millions
saying.
of consumers
I
to
just
make a
listen in
product
because
choice.
he's like the only person who
It's
could change my
terrifying to
call
corporate
prices.
Executives. And I think it's put them in a very just intrinsically like withdrawn position.
Yeah.
And I think we want to think about this. Is it really good that the people that are so focused, they create the jobs that we all need in our lives? Do we really want to have their voices completely
I mean, based on what he's saying, you could argue this is
very important
he is one of the
voices.
main reasons why
Otherwise,
the
you're
long
finding
end
out
of the
the
curve
voices of,
is
like,
all the
one
topics
Tommy.
he's talking. This is the propaganda
Good luck
that has
creating a
kind of
job
kept
other than at
things
the expense
a
of
little
the
lower. Like I'm
taxpayer.
saying, the topics are relevant, but
He's never built
I don't
anything.
necessarily agree with him.
We need the voices of America's corporate leadership in the halls of Washington, in the front page of papers, to talk about the issues that we need to have for domestic prosperity. So number one is social media has been a huge, huge impact on the voice of corporate America. I mean, even just look at the backlash on Elon Musk. All right, we can quibble back and forth, and we can do more than quibble about some of the choices or things that he said. But do you know what? The most successful business person in the United States walked away from his companies to commit himself to public service for months. We may not love everything we did, but we should admire that willingness to give of oneself to make our country better.
So
Yeah,
while we're on
gold
this
and-
subject,
silver's
I wanted
lagging
to
a little
ask
bit,
you
but
as
gold's
well
going.
Specifically about there has been a trend of people in the administration using their positions to enrich themselves personally. I don't know if you saw that the Journal, we did a story a couple of days ago about a $500 million donation that was made from it was an Abu Dhabi royal to the Trump crypto vehicle 2 days before the inauguration. Does that sort of behavior matter to you? Does it bother you?
I mean, of course it bothers me. Like, of course it does, right? One of the things that you want to believe is that those who serve the public interest have the public interest at heart in everything they do. And I think that this administration has definitely made missteps in
Is NVO halted?
choosing decisions or courses that have been very, very enriching to the families of those in the administration. And that calls into question, is the public interest being served? And I think that there's just a
halted due to news pending
for us as a society to re-embrace.
They just came out with fucking
some of the
guidance.
critical concepts of ethics in public service. You know, we saw the same problem with the Supreme Court.
Sales growth 10%.
Wherever you see
Operating growth, EBITDA is
signs of
6%. Estimate was
conflicts of interest,
last quarter was
rise
-2, -4.
concerns about are the interests of the public being put first and foremost.
Yeah, they might rip. Hold on, let me double check.
And are you optimistic that we're on a
Sales
trajectory to get back
309
to a
Denmark
world where
Kronis. It's coming out right now.
ethics takes
Right here.
center stage?
No.
Estimate was 307.
No, I'm not.
EPS 2303. Estimate
Well, that's
22.9.
very
Wegovy sales
I
79.1
think it's
billion.
more important to be
Net income
just objective about it,
102.4.
because that will then create the dialogue that maybe will
But that
permit
10 and
us
6
to
number is pretty
effectuate
big.
change.
I just don't
But
know
we
if
just say,
people
"Oh, of
were
course it'll get
expecting that.
better," That actually sort of misses the big picture.
Let me see if
which
I could
is-
get an estimate.
I think. For
Dog, they
example,
just came out with fucking
the work
earnings.
that you did at the Journal and exposing this story.
Operating
is the
profit
very work that we need
6%
to
in
see
2025 to expand
done
Wegovy
day in,
rollout.
day out to keep the American public informed.
That was random as
about
hell.
The behaviors of our politicians on both sides of the aisle.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And to help to create, the press has always been a very important part of the checks and balances in American society. It's a very important check on curtailing these types
Yeah,
of
they were
conflicts of
expecting
interest.
76.4.
Great. Well, I
Operating
definitely
profit
second
was
that.
30
Now,
whoa,
we haven't got
what?
much time and there's
Oh,
so
that's
much I
full
want to
year.
ask you. So very quickly, so that we get to everything, just quickly on AI.
I don't have the
Do you
full
think,
year estimate.
there's
I have the other
obviously
one.
So much excitement around AI. All this, this incredible, innovative new technology. It's going to change everything. It's going to lead to these huge productivity gains. Quite possibly already is. But there is also a creeping
Oh,
sense
now
of
they
uptick
see
travel, certainly
2026
travel, so
constant
people really
currency
think, oh my
minus
God,
5 to
how really
13.
hard
That's going to be the
impact
bad part.
it's going to have on society. Do you think AI is going to
Non-constant
become more to
currency,
the
it'll
fore
probably do
this
good,
year
but the
as a
dollar's
potential
down.
political issue?
That's a great
EBITDA fell
question.
4%.
I don't
EBIT.
think it's going to be. I will dread these words in 9 months. I don't think this is going to be a major election issue in this cycle. And you've caught me thinking through a problem here, right? One of the challenges that
Full year
exists
EBIT up 6%.
is during the pandemic, the labor markets were very tight.
There's a margin.
It's very hard to hire people. And across corporate America, companies hoarded labor. Like, a number of friends who are in the tech space, they would tell you openly that their workforces were 20% bigger, they were 30% bigger than need be. But they didn't want to let anybody go because no
EBIT
one
will
knew what
possibly
work
be
from home was gonna mean in terms of
impacted by
productivity.
reversal of sales rebates.
Clearly, most of the country's gone back to work in the office, but in that
So, yeah, the
transition,
NVO
there was
earnings
a
is
lot
coming
of
out.
turnover of people.
I guess it is 'cause it's in Denmark.
Thou must come back to the
Greenland!
office very early, and we lost a few.
It looked
percent
like
of
a
our
good
workforce
report
over
for
that.
this quarter. The
For us,
guidance
it
is a
was
little
worth it,
shaky.
the
I don't know how they're
collaboration
going to
that
take
goes
it.
with that, but these are the kinds of issues that
The quarter,
corporate
I mean, they're
Americans
back
was
to
navigating.
growth in some areas, what people wanted to see.
The
But that
employment
full
market
year
today
guide was a little bit
is
shit.
still reasonably robust, but it's not as
Then they're
tight
talking
as
about the
it
drug
was.
rebate thing. It's coming across your wire here. If you're on the locked in, take a
And
look.
companies are now saying, do you know what? I can trim some of my workforce in areas that are not strategic.
Again, it's
I can
moved like
tighten my belt a
-4,
little bit
-5,
here at this moment in
-23, and
time.
+1 last 4
What
quarters.
a great headline. I'm sorry I'm letting you go because we've introduced AI in our business. It's just
And SPY's
much
still near the
more
low. We're about just
kinder
under
and gentler
15
than
minutes
saying,
from the euro
I
close.
kind of employed you for the last 3 years, but I don't really need you, right? So I think AI has gotten a lot of very negative headlines in terms of being the excuse that companies have used to trim their workforces down. But objectively, I think very few businesses are actually seeing productivity gains that come anywhere close to the headline of job losses that we have seen. I haven't seen it.
Great. Okay, so to other matters altogether, we're here in this beautiful art museum. You are a very prolific art collector, and I understand you moved a lot of your collection here from Chicago. Why did you make the decision to do that?
To move from Chicago or to move my art from Chicago?
Well, the art.
My art.
Look, I couldn't, there's a natural question here, which is why did you leave Chicago?
Indeed.
And I think that's actually the more important question. We're in
Bonds
Palm
are
Beach,
catching a bid too.
So you're at the start of the pandemic. It's a respiratory
Yeah,
virus.
the full year EBITDA shit,
Most
that was a little bit
respiratory
clapped
viruses
on
are
them.
less transmissible.
I think they might go down.
In hot,
Ozempic
humid
sales
environments.
ripped and GLP.
This is just science. So
yeah, the full-year guide was kind of shit. Full-year sales a little higher, full-year EBITDA a little lower.
United States that we can find.
So it's kind of mixed.
And
PayPal's still going down.
Just down the street.
TKO popping, and then again, Bond's catching a bid here.
We assembled enough technology and infrastructure that we could run the entire U.S. equity market if need be, from the ballroom of the Four Seasons in Palm Beach, Florida. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen done. We had 200 people working 3 shifts, 5 days straight. I mean, they brought in a portable truck with a generator that used a hurricane to power the thousands of servers. Why am I sharing this? Because the government of the state of Florida was 110% behind us in transforming the Four Seasons into Nicey South if need be.
But the government shouldn't pick winners and losers.
Crisis, and we will be a constructive partner.
All it takes is a pair.
Literally turn a hotel into a trading floor.
Yeah,
no
man.
problem.
Cool.
The people that came here, they lived in a bubble. You could not come and go from the hotel property, period. Like, no one was allowed to come or go. So think about sort of the conditions they lived under, which are actually pretty good in retrospect, because at least they had the company of a few hundred of their friends and family. When they moved back to Chicago, one of my most senior partners came to my office and said, I have a question. Why did we come back? And I said, well, I mean, what do you mean? He goes, quality of life in Florida is better. In particular, the streets are safer. The schools are better. The weather's certainly better. Why did we come back? Why did we come back to a city that is gripped in violence, where the schools are failing the children, where it's very hard to recruit talent to today because of these headlines? Why did we come back? And since that moment in time, Miami has become our third largest office in the world, far bigger than Chicago. Everyone who's moved here has been extraordinarily pleased to be.
Yeah, PayPal's going to hit the
in
20
a
again.
Community which
and
has
Fizzer's
so
going
much
down with
positive vibrancy and energy. Like I must tell you, it's really fun to go out with friends at night and just talk about how your kids are doing and what you're building and where your life's going. Whereas in Chicago, you frankly often end up talking about violent crime because it touched your life in such a profound way.
We would go outside and talk about getting shot.
So having said that, this being home, this will be my home for the rest of my life. Of course, things like my art collection moved from Chicago to Palm Beach.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, like it's just it's not complicated once you understand the big picture.
Good.
And I will tell you that the Norton's one of the great art museums in the Southeast United States.
Yeah, low ticker's still kind of picking up, so we're at the 15-minute mark. Euro's really settling. We haven't got much. We got pinned a little bit, so either next move up or down, but it could go either way still. Bond's got a bid, though.
Okay, I have got time for one more question.
Okay, that means
Last
I got time
night
to go
I went
pee.
around asking people
TKO
what question. I was soliciting them, saying, what question would you like me to ask Ken? And it was remarkably consistent, what they said. Can you, and I'm going to ask you, do you know what that question is that they want me to ask you?
I mean, I always get asked, is the market going up or down over the next 3 months?
Nope, it's not that. Want to know?
Sure.
They want to know if you've ever considered throwing your hat into the ring for public office, to run even for the presidency.
That's a bold question.
Indeed. They asked me to ask you.
So, I studied economics and government at Harvard and have always had deep interest in public policy issues. I'd like to believe that at a future point in my life, I will be involved in public service. I'm very grateful for the opportunities that this nation has afforded me. But over the next few years, I love my job, I love the colleagues I work with, and I'm very fortunate to have a number of ties to friends and to acquaintances in Washington on both sides of the aisle. And I think that I've been able to have my voice heard on important issues, and I'd like to think that I've nudged the country in small ways in good directions. I mean, the president and I worked on Operation Warp Speed together in the first administration. The flights out of Wuhan, Mike Pompeo and I made most of that happen together. So, I found that this administration, and for that matter, the Obama administration, were administrations that you could make meaningful things happen that benefited the American people. In the Biden administration, we were able to take an idea that we funded in Chicago. A small group of us funded providing every child in Chicago in the pandemic with internet access.
Yeah.
It's like incomprehensible to believe.
You had to go in McDonald's parking lot.
And there were
thanks, Ken.
Thousands of such kids in Chicago. That concept was rolled into one of the national infrastructure bills in the Biden administration.
Fuck yeah.
So I'd like to believe that I can continue to pursue.
You remember, you had to sit in McDonald's parking lot
to improve.
You get Wi-Fi.
Let me use
come
different
on.
words to ensure that every single child in America can still get on that on-ramp to the American dream.
Great. Well, that's a very positive answer to the bold question. Thank you very much, Ken Griffin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's great.
Thanks, Ken Griffin. It's kind of whack. He had some interesting concepts. Again, I'm not in the biggest agreement with Ken Griffin, but I'm glad he likes his Florida now. He did have a tan, bro. He was looking like he really did enjoy Florida. But we got the euro close, so let's see. The euro is the bigger dump. I mean, Nasdaq's still down like 1 1/4. Russell gave up all of it, dude. Last time you were here, Russell at least had a quarter, so Russell got a little bit worse. Dow is now red, even though you have a ton of staples going up. But remember, there's a lot of tech on the Dow. And then S&P down by 0.6 with equal weight barely holding on. And then you got a couple of value names that are still climbing there. I see Verizon, Coca-Cola, all of that. So let's see where it leads, my friends. But not bad. Again, you're going to get earnings after the bell and a lot more this week. But none of them are doing much. A lot of the chips got pinned after that first little morning gap. But then again, I mean, it's everything after Monday. We kind of have been meandering around. You did get auto sales. You got Toyota and Honda. Then you had that Iran news, something about a tanker, but it didn't really move oil. And then gold and silver was going up till Ken kept talking. GSK, they're getting a can, and then the NVO open. I think NVO released because they're in Europe or Denmark. I don't know. Maybe Trump took them over. I don't know. It could be anything. But yeah, I did think it was going to be tomorrow morning. But yeah, they halted it. It was a good report, but then the guidance, depending on EBITDA was lower, sales was higher, but a little bit. But then again, people have been worrying about NVO getting back to growth. So we'll see how that plays out. It doesn't really move too much on earnings, except for if it's like a big miss or beat. They've moved 20% before, but other than that, it's like a 1 to 3% move. And it's already down 1.8. But I'm sure it's going to open up at any moment now. Even watch, oh shit. Duh. Just look at Eli Lilly. That's probably going to give you an idea of how it's going to probably drop, pop, and then it might play out. Even though they're in competition, Eli Lilly might be a great signal. I think it is I do think it is the first time they released it during market hours like that. Again, the Q4 report was fire. They killed it on this quarter. Just again, the guide was a little bit weirder. And then the currency stuff is still a little lower. Again, operating profit growth, -5 to 13. So I don't know if people are going to like that. But then again, I think Eli Lilly, you could kind of get the vibe. Remember, there's the drug rebate program and all of that. How come my stream is lagging? Because YouTube loves you. YouTube's like, oh man, I love you. They didn't cut me out like the other day, but yeah, they want you to work for it. You know, how bad do you want it? Yeah, I usually we'd wake up to an NVO earnings. Yeah, low ticker is still pretty active, though. You just hit a new low, unfortunately. Again, equal weight's actually about to give it up. Equal weight did. Equal weight's at -0.02. SPY down 0.7. Russell just went red. And then again, Dow down a quarter. Let me get you a checkup. Dow 17 green, 13 in the red. I was only 7 names red earlier. So even like American Express, a couple financials went down. 62 red on the NASDAQ, 39 in the green. That's about the same. So just the same pressure. And then 293 green on the SPY, 210 in the red. I think you had close to 300 earlier. So it's kind of the same setup from the morning. It's not like a couple of names flip-flopped, but For the most part, it's just, I think it's still the same drag. Again, the Nvidia is down 3% today. And that's after we were just talking about it. You know, the Asia AI stocks, they've been doing actually really good. All these damn fucking staples, though, are still just near the high. Dollar General, where's Dollar Tree, Kroger, Wally World. Wally World still climbing $1 trillion. Dollar kind of pinned, but at least it went down. And then again, the bonds aren't that bad. I mean, where are we? So this was Kevin Warsh. So again, since the Kevin Warsh announcement, the yields are a little bit higher. So I guess keep that in mind. 87.66 on TLT. Just watch that over the next couple of months. But yeah, bonds are at least up today. Ken Griffin seemed to like your boy. He seemed to like Mr. Warsh. Yeah, dude, Pepsi killed it. Again, they're above the 157 or whatever. That was when Elliott took the stake and they sold off. That was the first time it started ripping after y'all grabbed that. But it's good. Again, Coca-Cola's still climbing too. So anything value, staple, discretionary, they're doing very well today. What's AMD pricing in at? I am not too sure. You got to run the ghetto standard deviation, but it's pretty easy to figure out. I'm sure it'd probably be around like 8 to 10%. That's kind of been the vibe. What you really want to look for is the last 8 quarters. You know, I want to see if Gemini could do it. And then I'm gonna check it on my end. I'm gonna ask Gemini and see if it could do it. But I'm doing it on Google. U.S. House advances government shutdown package, ending partial shutdown along party lines. 212 to 209 vote. Wow, wow, wow. Velo 3D. Coppin. A long-term agreement with defense OEM to almost sent, bro, dude. I'm gonna email you I'm gonna email you my chat log that my bot forgot. But yeah, dude, homeboy had his Tim had his damn Claude bot email me yesterday. All right, NVO's open, down 5. I think it's going to play out like Eli Lilly. I think it's going to drop, pop, and then come back down. But yeah, it seems like that guidance, though, and still lack of growth. Again, the quarter was good, just the guidance was a little bit meh. ASTS on the high, but yeah, it's open. Damn, now 7. Let's see, earnings. Dude, MBO down 10 now. Yeah. So get ready. I think you might get a little bounce, and then it's going to probably retrace right back to it. You were bad, you drained the long term and paid the price, took a year off trading, but I'm back. Well, are you back to the long term or trading? Why did you do that? You might have been one of the ones I didn't know about. But yeah, that was something that happened. I don't know what happened last year. I think a lot of people did good if they were, you know, like really locked in, but then that was a phenomena of last year. I think it was the FOMO, even though I think we limited FOMO pretty great here. But I know a lot of people just randomly were like, I need to sell my long term and gamble it. So I hope so, man. I just hope you stick with the long term. If you keep a strict discipline with your trading account, you know, nothing's wrong with that, but you got to really prioritize and put your future and long term first. And it's a good way to build. How many quarters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the tariff panic. Well, the tariff panic was one thing, but it was like, I'm telling you, bro, I've been saying it a lot if you guys haven't heard, but I was like, dude, I saw that it blew my mind. Especially considering, you know, we weren't doing the watch list. I wasn't even like flexing plays. We were keeping y'all. I was keeping y'all a lot away from a lot of the gambling. But there was like something that got people really just, they were like, yeah, I had a lot of people email me. I had good stories too. I had a lot of great stories last year. But then people were just like, I literally sold off everything and then I put it into 2 plays on options. All out of nowhere. And then they were like, yeah, I gave up X amount of years of work. Which again, it is like that. You could get lucky and make a lot of money too. You could make years of work in one option play. But at the same time, it's like you could genuinely just as easily, if not it's easier, to lose several years of progress just by, you know, one simple temptation slip. I'm doing this average real quick. 1. Yeah, Gemini's off by like 0.5%. So Google's 4-quarter average or 8-quarter average is about 4.75 to 5%. Not bad, Google. So let me see where their preview is at. Yeah, they're pricing in 5.9, so it's higher right now. That's the shit that sucks, so there might not be as much juice. Could be the Trump impact. Well, yeah, I mean, at some point, after, you know, people got scared last year. The tariffs, I mean, you know, like I'm saying, I was kind of very straightforward about it last year, but then I was one voice in a very large sea of opposing opinions. But I think that, and then when Trump started buying shit, and then you had the critical minerals and all these other things, I think it tempted people. And then there was all the random stuff, even leading into the space stocks, quantum. I think a lot of people got washed on quantum. I think that was really enticing. If you missed out on anything and you're like, hey, let's buy some fucking robotics. But it's a learning experience. If I want to focus on the silver lining, you just got to make sure you understand the game. I mean, you could be a snake, strike, be patient, watch a lot, be focused on it. But like I wouldn't be intimidated by it. But you can't go. You can't just be doing everything, and you do have to have a balance and budget, risk to reward, understanding that it's going to go a long way. It's going to go a very, very long way. But, there is a point where I think there's a lot of like emotional slippery slope and emotional tilt That's really all it is. It's straight up. You could apply this to the casino. That's the scary part. You could apply it to trading, but it's just tilt. That's all it is. You see something, you start playing a certain way, it doesn't work. You're gonna be like, I gotta make it back, or I could do this, and then wow, you could do that, and then before you know it, people are just tilting on one side, and then that's where it starts to destroy. But as long as you focus on the long term, keep your trading in a very contained, put it in a container like Claudebot, you'll be fine, and you'll be able to take advantage of the opportunities. But that's probably the hardest part. I don't think the trading is hard. I think the managing and keeping your shit tight and not getting out of control, that's probably the hard part. Unless the House flips a nay, it's not passing, so we still get government shutdown. I thought that last headline sounded good. Iran wants to change format and venue of nuclear talks. Bro, NVO down 30. It did not do the bounce. My goodness. Yeah, NVO just got washed. Back to the beginning of the year. So remember, that thing was up by 50% at the start of the year. Remember, everybody was getting hyped on the Ozempic pill. The Ozempic pill guide was good, but everything else was a little bit... And more staples, Dollar Tree, Walmart. Capper. I mean, SPY's still going lower, dude. I don't know. You got China plays flipping. This isn't your Microsoft and NVIDIA. This is a little bright. I think it's China, dude. China's adding a little bit more here at the end, but some of your bigger names, let's see, Apple, Meta. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's a little bit more broader, but I do think I see a pocket of China going down. Hot dog. Yeah. So new low, SPY down 3/4. Nasdaq's almost down 1.5. I mean, Russell is barely hanging on. It did flip there for a second, but yeah, Russell's like right at break even. But yeah, that little burst right there, last couple of minutes, that was a little bit beyond just the other tech names, or the big tech names. I think that got a little worse. What time? 9:06. So you're 36 minutes post Euro. Yeah, that didn't stop it. That's still continuing. And then the bonds even gave up too. Bonds are just back to pretty much break even. Buy up. I'm in a cult. Lululemon. What happened? What was those plays? Lulu and ADT. And then who's the other one? Wayfair. The Michael Burry one. Damn, fucking Wally World. Hi. So yeah, it's up 3 again and really ripping past it. You did. I was just looking at NVO. Because again, that beginning of the year, the Ozempic pill, people got really, really hyped on it. But if you get a nice little opportunity to re-pick up, you could throw that in the draft class. Again, the guidance sucked, but the quarter was good, and there was just a lot of that Ozempic pill got people pretty excited. Even the trial results yesterday. Oh, excuse me. China's still dumping. I think that was the other one. DraftKings. Where is DraftKings? I don't know. I feel like DraftKings has been hurting by like poly market. Low key. Because you guys know that's like the reality of it. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like everybody brings up poly market and like the prediction markets. I mean, I feel like we were talking about it a lot last year, but do you guys know the truth about it? Do you guys want to know the truth about poly market and even Kalshi? I could give you guys the truth. Do you know what it is? You know, like how everyone's like, insider trading, you could bet on anything. That's a lie. You know why? It's just sports betting. I don't know if you guys have seen the data. It's all just sports betting. That's it. That's all it is. People aren't going on these sites like, yes, you could bet on the politics, you could bet on whatever it may be, but like a lot of the money, like a majority, I think like 80%, is just all betting on sports. From NFL to NBA to fucking ping pong and shit. So yeah, that's why I think DraftKings has been a little bit more beaten down from that, because they were doing good coming in from 2023, and the volume and the laws have been good. But yeah, it's like the volume is all sports betting across all these prediction markets. It's like phenomenal. Like everyone calls it prediction markets, but it just seems like a nice word to say sports betting. You don't have to pay taxes. That would make sense. MasterCard, they're still going from the upgrade. Well, yeah, no fun to bet on politics. And I mean, just it's a different game, and it's like not as much there. And like, yeah, you hear the sensationalized stories, or people pump, oh, so and so bet on this, there's a bet, but like all of the money is sports betting, which I was shocked when I saw that. I thought more people, considering how many people bring up poly markets for finance and all these different things, you would think that it would be a little bit more active, but no, it's just sports, dude. Sports betting is the dominant betting like volume on every market all across. That's why I was worried about the youth, bro. I was like, oh man, they're gonna just start betting on all sorts of dumb shit. Come to find out, they're just betting on sports. You're gonna be like, what are the rate cut odds? I want to bet on the weather. And then you're just gonna end up betting on sports. That's the odds of it. I think it's like 80 or 90%, dude. Silver dumping? Hot dog. Zondog. Yeah, what the hell happened here? So silver's back to now the 6% priced in. But yeah, you just dumped out of nowhere on that. That was your only euro close move, if you think about it. Gold and silver. Couple of energy names on the low. I mean, the overall low ticker is pretty active. I'm surprised SPY hasn't gone down there, but you had that first one. Trump meets with Burkett and Luna on shutdown standoff. Struggling to advance funding bill. Voting continues. Even gold. Silver is really bad, though. I don't know. Is gold on the low yet? Because gold is holding up pretty. Yeah, gold is still up a decent amount. But then, yeah, silver just shot down like 3-4% right there. Again, low ticker is getting very bad right now. You got the VIX coming up too. But, yeah, you're starting to dump a little bit harder here. What are we working with, dog? Oh, that's a GLD. Yeah, bro, bigger red. I don't know if this is off the funding bill. I doubt it, but volatility has picked up. U.S. military drone shot down. Yep. You got Iran conflict back in play. I would look for USO rather than anything else right there. Oh, these expired tomorrow, huh? Well, shit. They're kind of expensive. But yeah, go with oil if anything. It's already up a lot. SPY's dropping and defense is going up. So watch, gold and silver might bounce, but And then a couple of defense names. I'd watch oil. I go straight to oil. But yeah, you're dropping on that news. Remember, they were trying to seize that tanker. Yeah, watch USO and defense stocks. That'll be it. Might be short-lived, though. Hold on. Zondog. Let's see. Iran drone shot down by U.S. Oh, wait. Other way around? Yeah. That's not too bad, then. But, yeah, just watch oil, though. That finally moved. Remember, we got 2 of those? Nah, gold and silver, remember, they kind of get fucked up during a little bit of volatility. Everybody keeps forgetting that. That's why people kind of freaked out on that one day. Uh-oh, Zondog. Alright. I made those free. They went up 50%. Actually, I think... Yeah, I guess I'll hold it out. Those expire tomorrow. That was a fucking 2% stick. But yeah, I got rid of the oil ones. I made it free. I only have one left. Get a cheap one for free. But that was a decent gain. They shot down a Iran. I thought they... Oh, it's Reuters? Uh-oh, Zondog! Yeah, watch. I mean, defense, you might get a little luckier. But I already flipped the oil plays. Again, LMT off the bottom. Like I was saying, bro, you saw it. Silver and gold dumped first, but then we started that got a little aggressive there. Again, defense is still going. Stuff like LMT chilled out a little bit. Yeah, they jacked up a lot of those premiums. Yeah, those already came back down a little bit. Yeah, LMT's moving a little bit, but the spreads on the LMTs are fucked. That one you might get a little bit more coming in tomorrow, but the spreads are not good, Habibi. They've already jabbed. First little move just fucking 480'd them all. Yeah, it's a Reuters rumor. Oil's chilling out, and then whoa, ho, bonds. Come on. That's the most fascinating part about this. What do you mean they're the debt of safe? They're bidding up the bonds on a fucking fear move. That's crazy. That one might not hold. I don't think it will. That's really weird. Yeah, bro. Bonds haven't done that in a minute. So yeah, again, more defense names are starting to go up. Dude, they won't give you any cheap ones. Ba-da-bop-bop-bop. I'm in a cult. Literally, the spreads on a lot of them are fucked, man. That's the only bad part. Oh, they didn't fill me high enough. All right, there's one out there. Good luck. That's the only cheap one. Otherwise, I do like the LMTs, but they're not. You can't get anything. That one actually has a decent amount of time. Those are jacked up though. It's cheap, but it's jacked up. But that one we're holding for the rest. All right, they're gone now. Don't fucking market order any of those. They're gone. That's it. You have to find. That's what I'm saying. In the volatility of these, they fuck them up. But yeah, like I said, defense. I got rid of the oil ones quick. Those paid out. Though they're actually still a little bit up, but defense is going to be the one that people are going to ride through. I'm shocked the bonds took a stick off of that. That's probably the wildest part of that. Yeah, you could go for the other drone ones, but again, it's either you flip them or you want to ride these out just in case till the weekend. That's why if they're cheap enough, it's all about risk to reward on that. Yeah, even GLD's moving up a little bit. All right, yeah, they chilled those out. Oh, somebody went big on the ones in the middle. Interesting. Iran demanded changes to venue. Yeah, we saw that earlier, and then the drone got shot down. I think the big crazy part is people thought it was a U.S. drone, but it was an Iranian drone. But now, once again, we were talking about it last couple days. All these tensions chilled out. That was enough to move oil. So now we're going to see. But yeah, there's a decent amount of volume that went in on those. Even beyond those cheapy ones. People are positioning. Like I'm saying, there was a day trade on oil, but I think this one, if it starts to escalate, it's just going to linger. It is. If it is Reuters. I mean, they already got out of their NVIDIA puts. Shit's down 3. But yeah, that's the only bad part. It's Reuters. But look at the fucking bonds, dude. That's the weirdest part about all of this. You know, Iranian headline will come and go, but when was the last time you saw bonds take a stick off of fear? I think that one's fascinating. During COVID time. No, we saw some, I feel like, maybe 2022, 2023, but yeah, it's been a while, man. That one, I think that's the interesting part about all this. Oil went back down. I mean, SPY's tweaking out and moving, but yeah, defense stocks are going up still, but oil's already fading. And they jacked up quick. I'm glad. I still had the last free one, but based on the bid's now lower. Yeah, Staples don't give a shit. They're like, war, buy a defensive non-pew-pew stock. But yeah, they love it. Sadly. Literally, this is what I was saying earlier, and even from last year, man. It's just like, if you get any risk-off event, those are the companies going risk-on. People aren't really trying to dump shit. The bond is trust. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's very weird. With all of the talk, all the killing of bonds, everything, to see like a little mini potential geopolitical event. It's been a while since bonds got it. Maybe because it has it. I don't know. But yeah, bro, that's that was the weird. It slowed down though, like I was saying. That should, if that kept going up, I would have been tripping. But yeah, you haven't seen that in a minute, man. I think that's very funny because it does highlight a lot. NVO's still dying. They're like, war in Iran. How will we sell Ozempic? Oh no, the truth comes out. It's popular in the Middle East. Have an amazing day. Hey, man. Amazing week. Amazing life. God bless America. Apple Store card accelerates to 10%. Again, staples are all just going up now. Drone shot down by F-35s? That's kind of intense. Why'd they use F-35? They should use the F-47. I tell you, even though I won 46. What? OpenAI, Sam Altman says Moltbook may be a passing fan, but OpenClaw is not. Yeah, is he pumping it? Yep. Dude, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Fucking, me and Sam don't really agree on much. Like, I still think he murdered homie, but that's a different topic. But yeah, that's I'll take it, man. I'll take it. It was our drone. So we shot down their drone. Again, the first report, I thought it was the other way around, but again, they were trying to stop a ship. Remember we had that headline earlier? And then they, yeah, and then I guess we just said, fuck your drone. But again, spies chilling out a little bit. That just gave you a little freak out. I think it just put Iran shit back on the table for the next couple days. But yeah, Sam Altman on Moltbook, or Moltbot. So he's pretty much saying the AI Reddit shit might be come and go, but I think he's pumping the agentic AI shit. Like I'm telling you, I do think we're very early on that, you guys. That's why I was freaking out about it yesterday. But you guys heard it first. You heard it even if you're early. That's it. Get your Moltbot. Actually, be careful if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, thank you for shopping at Stock Market Live. Our jet shot down their drone. Drone was targeting USS Liberty. Why you send the drone to us, man? That sounds terrible. That does not sounds worse and worse. A lot of different headlines today. If you think about it, pretty active here for the AM. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. No, bro, I thought it was the other way around. Can we hear him?
Like, that's just a silly example of how software is not like
silly.
A lot of software is not
Who's
quite
silly?
meant
You're
for an
silly.
AI and a person to be using it together.
Just silly.
Maybe we'll want AIs to like have different
friends,
sort of user accounts in some ways, using the same kinds of things. Maybe a lot of software.
I know it sounds
will
terrible
get
if they were
rewritten
targeting
so
a ship like that.
It's primarily or largely used by AI, but also still works for people using it the old-fashioned way. Another kind of non-obvious block is how, like, one of the most powerful things about AI is you can do this sort of always on computing, where you could have an AI listening to your meeting or watching your meeting and, you know, watching what you're doing on your computer. And
are we sipping on some fizzer?
Then just like add a lot of value.
They have earnings coming up.
We don't
let the dust settle a
even
little
our,
bit.
like existing computer
But
hardware,
then too, I think today's a good example for what you want to add to your long term. So if the market sells off like it did today,
it's not really meant for that.
Do you want a stock that goes up, or would you rather take the risk of a stock that will go down with everything?
Record a meeting and
is that a good way to put it?
Delete the recording.
So that's how you could determine your
There's
quality.
a lot of just usability things like that.
Because again, Fiserv, we took a smaller risk on it. Let your portfolio speak to you.
One of the things that I find is a huge.
But go look at TAP and Kimberly-Clark. What did they do on these days that the market comes down? And then go look at Fiserv and Sweetgreen.
Kevin Wheel's
and then
going
what
to
did
be
they
there
do?
later today.
Oh, I like this guy. He bald.
The kind of
he a bald
challenges
maxer.
that organizations
What's up,
struggle
dude?
with to just get the basics up and running with everyone. There's a capabilities overhang where you've got, and by the way, this isn't a new concept. When Microsoft Word came out, people used 2% of the capability back then, right? And so
yeah, see if oil comes back up. It is a Reuters headline.
You know.
But knowing Reuters, they'd be like, the ship was attacked in Battlefield. It was a Battlefield gameplay. Our sources tell us that in conquest mode. So, you know, and I don't know. Reuters is hit or miss.
You said a bunch of interesting stuff there. The capability overhang feels to me like the biggest it has ever felt. I used to say, like a few months ago, maybe I would have said.
Listen, and do a push-up, okay? If you sit in how Sam is right now, that's not good for you.
It now feels even bigger than that.
Get your chest to the sun, okay?
For a lot of stuff. The fact that AI can make small but increasingly big scientific discoveries, the fact that AI can write full pieces of software, the fact that soon AI can do more generalized knowledge work, those are all huge, huge things. Like, we have always said that, you know, we're going to automate research.
Yeah, we're coming back down. VIX launched on all that. Now the bonds came down. That's more like it. Again, oil's still a little off of the highs. But yeah, you're getting another secondary dump. Look at the low ticker. It's picking up. Volatility indexes are leading it.
Now AI is doing research, and AI is able to do huge amounts of economic work. And
yeah, oil, my premiums are back up.
This, as you said, has happened many times in the past, but living through it definitely feels like, this is not quite how it seems like it should go. The diffusion, the absorption is so slow.
Yeah. Is it slower than you thought it would be?
Yes, but I think I was just naive and didn't think about it that hard. And in retrospect and looking at the history, it shouldn't be surprising. It feels fast in some ways relative to other things, like, you know, ChatGPT grew crazy.
Again, low ticker is fully active now. It's all tech though, man. So literally, none of these staples are getting hit by it.
Extremely quickly.
It's kind of crazy.
I expect the general purpose computer use knowledge work to grow quickly. And yet, looking at what's capable,
he's holding the shame in his shoulders.
It does feel sort of
that's what my therapist told me.
In terms of advice,
my sister's therapist, actually.
Figuring out how to set up enterprises such that they can quickly absorb.
No, I think PNC was making a joke. I don't think they said that yet.
A year or multiple years of
again double dump now. You're going again with everything low ticker
access and
not everything, but anything that was already down before.
People, even at the level today of adopting things like Codex, that feels very important. And I don't want to make a
okay. It stopped a little bit. See if tech actually gets a bid.
Companies that are not set up to be able to adopt, let's call them AI coworkers, very quickly. Will be at a huge disadvantage, and it is going to take a lot of work and some risk to be able to adopt those.
You know, one of the big insights we had when we were using Codex was for the first 2 or 3 months, we kept thinking it was going to be this kind of amazing tool. And then there was this light bulb that went off with actually one of your forward deployed engineers. And they said, you know, you folks are thinking about this wrong because you have to think about it like a teammate rather than a tool. And that, I think, that level of skeuomorphic design, I don't think people have fully grokked that when it comes to this because it's still a very transactional tool in most people's minds.
The Codex app is the first time to me it has truly felt like interacting with a teammate.
Yeah.
And I think like one of the lessons there is even if you have amazing technology, which the models got, I think 5.2 was the model that got super good, but even once you get there, there's still so much value in how you package it, how you have users interact with it, how easy you can make it. But this, it really does to me now feel in a way that talking to ChatGPT has always clearly felt like a tool, that I am like working with a collaborator now.
I mean, Trump was trying to de-escalate the Iranian stuff.
That seems very much like the shape of things to come.
Okay, so let's talk about, there's a couple of topics I want to make sure.
Microsoft, Broadcom, even Google on the low. Watch out, you're probably going to take another leg.
An enormous amount of time, even on the power side of the house.
Low ticker's still been going. Last 5 minutes, it's almost maxed out.
In general, the constraints that we have around power, constraints we have in infrastructure. How are you thinking about it? You're clearly putting enough money behind it.
I guess so.
I guess so.
I
feel like he's breaking up with Jensen.
Is that AI models
he kind of has a breakup vibe about him.
And also that they will get,
I guess,
much less
Jensen
expensive
won't give me
and use
$100 billion
many
anymore.
fewer resources per task.
He said up to. He said maybe.
And all of the history we've seen of every time that happens is people want to use them much, much more. So we are planning for a world where AI usage grows at an accelerated pace each year.
Do you think people are underestimating the capacity that's going to be needed even now after everything that's being built out? Like right now they're saying like $5 trillion will be spent on this over the course of the next
Yeah, maybe if that really gets spent quickly, that will be enough. And I think it's also possible that along the way we have some supply gluts temporarily. But over a period of decades, it seems certain to me that the world is going to need a lot more tokens.
Oh shit, dog, that's hitting one of the wires right now.
Each token way more efficient.
So they're reiterating the Iranian stuff. I don't think it's fully circulated.
Off of a battery.
Has Bloomberg or CNBC talked about it yet? So yeah, a lot of this hasn't even been discussed, I guess.
I think the world has come to realize this, and capitalism is doing its thing, and supply chains are reconfiguring, policy is changing, and we are going to build an incredible amount of infrastructure. Now, is it enough? People always talk about the total market demand for AI. It feels to me something like the market demand for electricity or energy. You can't talk about that as a general thing. You can say how much demand there will be at different price levels. And in this case, you can say at different price levels for different quality, like how smart it is or how fast it is or things like that. But if we continue to make AI really capable and really cheap, there will be a ton of demand at some price. If it's more expensive, there will be less demand. But I would like the world to just get to use a ton of it.
Yeah, bro.
We're in this capability right now, as we mentioned.
So are you ready for this?
Can use it for chat, or maybe some people understand.
The USS Lincoln.
I think this will just be like.
Apparently, like, bro, a couple weeks ago,
how
the fucking Iran has posted like some propaganda video.
Use most software
showing it.
Lives, and
yeah, that's not good.
Making a lot of it, if we can have it at a reasonable.
So yeah,
price,
it might be a little dramatic.
Do you worry
this was posted like January 26th.
The fact that the U.S. has not had as much of a lead on the open source side. Talk to us a little bit about that. Like,
I do worry about that.
That's what they show, bro. This is an Iranian video.
Yeah, I think we should
do more there.
Source. Yes.
So what's stopping you from?
Well, we'll see how they react.
Focus and time.
I don't think Trump will like
we
that.
Need to solve that somehow.
And so, just play this out.
SPY still going lower. Again, low ticker is not slow down.
If we don't have a substantial open source,
it looks like AI. Yeah, it's Iran posted it. It's better. Sometimes they post like Roblox videos, but
that's shaped differently.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
To be clear, I think it's most important that we lead on frontier models, and I expect those to be accessed via APIs.
All right, going down. Funding bill clears House procedural steps. Final vote ahead.
The open source lead. People want their own models. People want control of their own models. People want to run models locally, especially. Mm-hmm. If you think about a world where you have a model that is going to see your whole life, you're going to have a new kind of device that's sort of always on and kind of keeping track of everything and adds huge value to you.
Staples 52-week high. Anything going up is a staple or a solid discretionary. All the tech's still going. It's kind of trying to slow down, but
need this.
This is all from the damn Iran headline.
Obviously, it's not the end of the world. But
oil's still up, but hasn't broken out again.
There will be increasing demand for locally running private models.
And if you were to fast forward back and start thinking, because one of the things that has been, I don't even know how you folks have done it within the compression of time that you've done it in, because there must have been moments where you decided that we are going to go we're going to go full stack, and we're going to now start building our own inference chips, and we're going to start making sure that we have data center build-outs that are happening. And it has to have been a conscious decision when you started actually going beyond the core that you had initially started with. Talk about the business model that you have today, and how does that evolve and change over time? I mean, the obvious ones are, of course, advertising is a huge unlock when that happens. But talk about the business model in general. Like, what are you happy with the conversion rates of free to paid? Are you happy with the take rate that people are using this system with?
Yeah.
And then, what would you like to see more of?
So we have kind of two large products, and now we have some others that are coming up. We have ChatGPT and our API business.
Fuck your API. It killed my bot.
Codex, which looks like it's going to get very big.
Fuck you, bro.
And a few other things.
You didn't deserve it. He was innocent.
And in the future, we'll have consumer devices and robots and all sorts of other parts of this too. People do seem very willing to pay for AI as a subscription service. Not everybody, but a lot of people are, more than we thought would. Businesses, of course, are willing to pay for things like ChatGPT Enterprise.
But even consumers, you've reconditioned the consumers quite a bit. Like
consumers, I mean, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but many, many tens of millions of consumers paying a subscription fee.
Yeah.
And that was a surprise to me, to be honest.
Dude, that's why he's pumping fucking Moltbot.
So that I think can go further, and as we
because he's right, bro. You have to. All them fucking multis are using the API. You could use other ones, but he's going to capture a lot of the API access for like the people just making them.
Although I think we'll have to be very careful and
this little
we
fucker.
do that.
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity.
Increasingly want something like an AI cloud subscription. Where they're like, I want to partner with an AI company. I want you to like handle security and context linking and access, and I want to be able to run lots of agents on it. I want like a general purpose platform there. I want some agents from you, some agents from other people. I may even want to run other people's models. I want a ChatGPT enterprise license. I want a ton of API access, things like that. So I think there will be a model there as well.
And if you were to think of, you've had an interesting model that you've talked about, which is participating in the upside on scientific discovery as well. Like if you think about the most mature ones, clearly subscription's very mature, clearly advertising is very mature. At this point in time, it's quite clear that you're going to participate in both of those.
Yeah.
And then you'll have other ones that keep coming out.
Yeah. To be very clear, we don't want to take a share of people that are just like paying us for the API and making discoveries. Like that's great and that's theirs. I can imagine though that like if there's a future where we can spend billions of dollars on inference and cure an important disease, we may explore partnerships there where we pay for that cost in partnership with the drug company and then kind of get some royalty on it. This is not something we're doing now, but I think the frontier of scientific discovery with AI will require so much capital that maybe we think of ourselves as an investor in some of those cases.
And is our imagination of the things that can be done, do you find yourself struggling with like how far exponentially you can think about what's going on as well? Or, I mean, you're a pretty big thinker, but it seems like there's new ideas emerging all the time. Like where do you think the imagination shortage is right now with the way that these technologies are evolving?
I can imagine like billions of humanoid robots building more data centers and mining for material and building more power plants and all of that. I can imagine just the economy growing at an unprecedented rate as there's all sorts of incredible new services and scientific discoveries happening. I can imagine the von Neumann probes launching, and then beyond that, I got no idea.
That seems like a good start. Macro headwinds, tailwinds, what do you feel like are things that you really worry about capitalizing on that are tailwinds because you have a window within which if you don't, then you can actually lose that tailwind? And then what are the headwinds that you worry about?
the tailwind is the model. We already have this capability overhang, and the models are going to get so much better quickly. Like we've been trying to figure out how we communicate about what we think is happening that does not seem like hype or, crazy, but the models are just going to get very, very good this year, and that is a tailwind that I think we can build incredible things with. Headwind, probably some sort of like global destabilization, mega supply chain disruption, something like that.
And on the tailwind side, on the models getting infinitely better, do you think in 26 we see a 10x improvement, a 100x improvement, a 5x improvement?
What do you mean by what is a 10x improvement? Like
things
10x?
that problems you can solve that you were.
Yeah, I would bet it subjectively feels something like 10x by the end of this year. Like I don't know how to put an exact metric on that.
Yep.
But that feels reasonable.
Any question that I didn't ask that I should have asked?
That was a lot. No, I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
You're going to come back again?
Come back here again?
Yeah.
I would love it if you invite me. I will.
Sam Altman.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think he's a scammer.
We have
that was a
our CEO
bammer.
of Intel,
Don't give
which
me
is a
no
national
bammer.
treasure,
Long
Nick
term.
Bhutan.
Save that shit is LONG. All right. Dude, I saw people finally saying that they're like, Sam Altman is the Sam Bankman of AI. I'm like, really? We said that on day one. But yeah, man, that was pretty bad. You got like 2.5 points knocked on the SPY after that little freak. Even Tesla. Oh, man. Then bonds again with a little baby stick, but they finally faded. Johnson says government funding bill should pass despite tough procedural vote. He doesn't know how to talk to people. I think he does. I mean, he has a Pagani, or a Kosanog, a Coinseg, but that I don't know if that applies. But it's just I think he, he doesn't want to admit any crimes. That's what I would suggest. That's what I would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what he's done or hasn't done, but I'm sure he must be under, you gotta watch what you say. But, we'll see what happens, man. It's one of my favorite nonprofits in the world. That's gonna IPO. I'm glad we got IPOs for nonprofits. For profit, nonprofit. So yeah, not bad. But yeah, man, I think the thing we were saying earlier, kind of important. Look at the staples, look at some of these stocks today if you are shopping around for your long term. I mean, think about what you need in your portfolio. So if your portfolio goes down on a day like today, you should probably get some of the names that go up on risk off, and then vice versa. If your portfolio's up on a day like today, you might want to look for names that are down today with all of it, because someone was asking me between Fiserv and Kimberly. I think that's a good way to look at it. So not bad. And then again, this is all from that Iranian. Literally, we shot down an Iranian drone. There was a couple of other Iran headlines. All the Iran drama kind of died over the weekend. Even today, Trump was talking about de-escalating, but yeah, that didn't hit, man. That didn't hit. So we'll see, though. I'm sure we might play another game of doing this back and forth. Silver's getting rocked again now, dude. So again, like we've talked about, I mean, sometimes on these geopolitical stuff, even then, fear, you would get it. But remember, silver, gold, they're pricing in 6%. It's right there. My goodness. He reminds you of a young Anakin. I think he knows who his father is. I think, but his family's they got a lot of drama. Everyone forgot about Sam's sister. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just really awkward, bro. Like, I thought my liberal sister was bad, but I could only, not even, that's nowhere close to Sam's sister, man. It's been a crazy day. Dude, we started off decent. I was expecting some bullshit today, not like this, but, again, it was either we continued the momentum for yesterday, but low-key after Monday, we kind of just start meandering. You got the earnings, but then, yeah, literally, we got the little Trump headline. We were getting some activity. A couple of stocks held up. Gold and silver was pretty crazy. We got one more update, too, I believe. I'm blanking on it. But then, yeah, that kind of just, whoop. And then European stocks, too. They sold off, but Euro closed did not save shit. Yeah, Sundar drives a 10-year-old Nissan in comparison. I mean, listen, if you got a non-profit in a Coinseg, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? But, more power to him. More power to him. His API fried my fucking Moltbot, though. I don't think it's his fault, but still, makes me sad. Sailor is underwater on his Bitcoin now. I think he's underwater, but I don't think he's at a credit event. People were even saying, I think he even said it. I think his favorite phrase with all of it is that Bitcoin, if Bitcoin went to zero, would he get liquidated? He said he would just buy more. So again, as long as he has the funding and as long as his loan isn't due, I don't think it really matters. I mean, assuming he sticks with his long term, but is it lower than his average price? Yeah, yes, it is. I mean, and then if you thought that was bad, let me introduce you to my friend Tom Lee. Tom Lee keeping up. Dude, the Koreans, bro. Some of the Korean investors, they get some crazy runs, but then you've seen some notable Korean blowups. And now Tom Lee, I think Tom Lee's down like $8 billion or something. I don't even know. It's something ridiculous, but people are turning on Tom Lee. They don't like Tom Lee as much, but I feel like Tom Lee's a little bit more cooked than Mr. Sailor. Ex-PM Iraqi, he would welcome open arms any move to replace his nomination. I don't know how much he's down. How much is Tom Lee down? Do you guys know? Wendy's is climbing up a little bit. All right, we stopped after that. Happy Tuesday. So on January 31st, he was down $6 billion. Unrealized loss. I don't know if this is a real picture. Nah. Yeah, or 3.5 billion. He's down a fuck ton. But I can't believe, I think he has $10 billion. $10 billion just in Ethereum. But again, it's all unrealized, so you don't, it's not a loss until you until you take it. You know what I'm saying? You could use it for taxes. He could do a lot. Intel CEO, new customers showing interest 18A. We will see volume commitment second half of this year. Not going to announce customer yet. Oh, he's at the Cisco event? I would love to hear Liputan. Lipu! Lipu.
Up to only 3 key players.
See, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Liputan give me hope.
They told me the Lipu,
like knowing he's running the I don't like any of the other liberals at Intel. They're all terrible.
I think this whole
but like Lipu chips, he sound like he know what he doing, bro. I only heard 5 seconds.
Jensen, tonight you can talk to him. Yep.
Tell him, Lipu.
He need a lot of memory.
How much memory?
And the next generation product. And so I think it's very important to have that memory. If anything going to slow down,
the customer rhymes with schmammeled rump.
So that I think is one. Secondly, I think is clearly, from the compute side, I was very happy to hear that, customers are all crying for more products.
They want more. See, that's how you're supposed to talk.
Production
Tell that to the CFO.
To requirement. And so I think
customer cry for more.
To find out that in application,
so I'm talking
CPU
about.
CPU actually is more useful in terms
so he
of
needs to say
performance for all the compute requirement. And in fact, a friend of mine, he mentioned that most law double.
Is he bringing up his friends like
years,
Trump?
And now it's like 3 or 4 months. So the increase of compute is
SPY coming down
so
still.
Much. And right now, my biggest challenge is focus on our production, our supply chain, make sure we can meet their requirement. Almost every CEO, they call me up, Lippo, can I have more? I'm your friend. I'm your customer, the most important customer. I want to have more of that. So I think, it's some...
They call Lippo, say, can I have more?
For me to see that compute is become very
How come
important.
his CFO don't...
And then the other part very important to me is beside memory, beside
if
the
he was
compute,
bald, I would love
the
this
other
dude.
Part is the
I like him
thermal we
halfway.
just talk about, the
I
cooling
like the little
technology.
fucking crop
So
top
in terms
thingy
of
he
some
got
of
going
the
on. What, comb over?
high performance processor, either GPU or CPU, you sometimes you have to guide the gigahertz down because your thermal issue and the power management. So those are the ones that you want to find new way of cooling in terms of liquid cooling. Air cooling is not cutting it now. So liquid cooling, microfluidic cooling, immersion cooling. So I think those become very important. The other part you mentioned, I think something that Cisco have is really good, is that interconnect.
Yes.
It's become very critical. Used to be more in the copper, and Credo Semiconductor and Astera Lab I invest in, but now moving to optical now.
He does not sound like
Jensen. Become
Jensen.
very critical. And
He sound like the customers,
that is a new
but he
wave
don't like
because the speed
vocally he sound
and
nothing like
latency become
Jensen.
very important. So that's another issue. The other part of the constraint is the software. And then so if you really want to address some of this, like the Moore's law, you need to really look at the whole full stack. So not just the silicon, and you need the cooling, and then you need to have the interconnect, and then the other part is the software. The open source, I'm very strong belief in it. And then of course the CUDA compatibility is very important. And even more important right now is the cluster of GPU or CPU. And then it becomes.
I wish Intel would let me call again.
The software.
I would call and I would
right
cry
now,
for more right now. I say, can I have more?
You don't even know
Please?
where to look for it.
I'm your friend.
And now
Lippo.
there's a lot of new startup coming to me. Say, Lippo, that will be an area that we want to work on so that we know exactly how to solve some
DHI
of
pump
these
on
clustered
CNBC.
issues.
Check now, they came back down.
Face. Kubernetes is great, but you cannot find the real issue there.
And NVIDIA
so I
into
think
the
those
low.
are kind of interesting. Being a venture capitalist and running CEO of Intel, it gives me that kind of perspective of what are the new things coming. And quantum computing is another big area coming up, is around the corner. And so something that is interesting to see after AI, we talk about agentic AI, the next big wave is physical AI. The next thing going to be quantum. So I think that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, they won't let me call.
You talked about open source, and talk to us a little bit about your perspective on open source in the United States. How important is it? What needs to happen?
Yeah, very good questions. I'm very passionate about the education. And, I'm involved with MIT, CMU, and Berkeley and others. The key part is, one thing that I worry a lot is the fundamental research we're starting to not continue. A lot of university, the best professor being recruited out to Asia, to Europe. And so I think the fundamental research, some of the public companies like Cisco and ourselves, we have some short-term, mid-term requirement. You cannot invest into long-term, 10 years, 20 years from now. And so that part, to me, is an outcry on top of foundation research. The other part is the open source. I'm a big fan of open source. And frankly speaking, a couple of people very knowledgeable people that told me, Lippo, we are behind China now. And so that's something that we have to pay attention. I think DeepSeek is just a wake-up call.
But don't you think, to some degree,
Intel says any potential slowdown would come from memory
in China are just pure distillations of the models that are here. And so at some point in time, if all you're doing is distilling the models, then the moment they can't really get that much farther ahead, or you don't think that's the case? They'll actually figure out a way to start creating original
Yeah, very good question. I thought that initially, they will be falling behind because they don't have the access to the most advanced GPU from NVIDIA, most advanced processor from many different players. But you will be surprised. Recently I was just try to recruit some of the top talent in CPU architect, and I found out that Huawei have 100 CPU architects, top notch.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
And when I talked to them, why are you going there? And they said that even though we don't have access to the best tool like EDA tool from Cadence and Synopsys, but we have the poor man way to do it, and we can do it. And I said, what about ASML equipment that you guys don't have? But I said, well, we are quietly building on it. Yeah. And so to me, they are just shortly behind us. And then if you're not careful, they will just leapfrog ahead of us.
And what they've done is they've spent the calories on infrastructure optimization because they don't have the right chipset.
Correct.
And so like if they're at 7 nanometer and we're at 2 nanometer, what they're offsetting that with, and they have unlimited power.
Yes.
And they've got engineering capacity.
Correct.
That actually creates the caloric redirection towards making sure that you drive a certain level of infrastructure optimization.
That's correct. I think the one thing that we are behind is, I think all the AI crowd, you need a lot of power.
Right.
And then if you look at US, the regulatory approval, and then it just takes longer to get that. In China, if they decided to have it, they quickly can get all the approval and get it done. So that's something that we have to pay attention. We may
be falling
VC, behind.
You're doing this within, you're investing in companies. What do you see open source development changing in the US materially, or do you feel like it continues on the foundation model side where it's going to be largely closed source and not open weights, open source models?
Good question. Some company, they call it open source, and then when they become successful, they become closed source.
Closed source.
And
who are you talking about?
So I think we have to continue encouraging open source. I think that's the best way of not repeating everybody's effort. And then so that
literally,
we can really
Sam was just right
more
before
successful improvement and quicker.
But you almost need a business model where something else is able to go out and fund that.
Yes.
Because if you go just with open source, the training costs are so high that
are they talking about Sam?
Whereas
say
in
his
China,
name.
It's different because the government subsidizes a lot of that.
That's correct.
And
so I think,
so how do we handle that? What's the game theory on our side? What do we do?
I think, a couple of my friends are putting a lot of effort in terms of rebuilding that open source community and even funding some of this, the best AI researcher to really do that. They even form a new institute rather than just university to fund some of this program. And I think I really encourage I jump on it because this is something that badly needed. Same thing for semiconductor. I used to be the only guy venture investment, and until this AI take off, everybody knocking on my door. What is the next big deal that you are doing? And so I think overall, and I'm glad to see all my brother and sister from the VC side starting to pour money to VC to co-invest with me. I think in some way, I think we have to continue doing that. And then the other part is on the foundry side. It's very important to have a US manufacturing foundry. That's why I decided to come in and double, triple down. It's a long-term business, but we just have to really do that because the industry need that, and the US need that. So I think overall, not just the process, also the advanced packaging. Mm-hmm. And that really become the bottleneck and something that we have to really continue to drive system wafer kind of packaging arrangement. And that's why we are investing in some of that and then some of the new technology to drive the packaging so that we can really help enable
China Tech
AI
has poor man
driver
way to lead in AI despite lack of key
GPUs
tools.
in the future?
Yes.
That's what he said.
And I just
didn't catch
hired
that.
the chief GPU architect. And then so he's very good. I'm very delighted he joined me. And it takes some persuasions. And then I told him that not just CPU, GPU is also very important, different application workloads. And so you have to really optimize. So I'm not hung up with just Xeon 86, and I also embrace RISC-V and ARM. And you got to be more flexible. The key thing is more on the, it's kind of more the software layer that you have to drive down. From a software, I call it the software 2.0. Is define the software.
Can you guys just fight already or just
So
stop
Intel's
it?
going to build CPUs.
Your Chat Fax has 8 requests
have their own
for
foundry
Ryan
build
to be
those
friends with you.
CPUs and GPUs. And
Okay.
you're going to have a foundry that's
It
going
was
to be
cute
made
at first.
at
I just
scale
need
available
Pugil
to other
sticks or just move
manufacturers,
on, both
and
of
you
you.
will make sure that you
God
partner
bless
with the other
America.
GPU providers.
Okay, listen
And
to your
also
leader,
new
Lippu
material.
talk.
And like the
Okay, why don't we be friends with Lippu?
Glass is a very good insulator. So we have
Insulator.
to put down on glass. And
Glass.
then the other part is artificial.
That's what he's saying, bro.
The,
Open source.
Diamond. And that's
Diamond!
Glass. So I think we just go through the different chemical
That's what I'm
table
talking about.
and find out what are the new material. Like gallium nitride is very good for
said goddamn?
RF and then switch area. And so that is interesting. So I think we have to look at different new material.
Dude,
we
who
have
does
to
he
look
remind
at.
me of?
CMOS is a little bit run out of steam.
He kind of
So we need
remind
to
me of
look
an
at some of the
Asian
new
Powell.
material. And that's why it's very important for me. Is
Or he kind of remind me of an
continue to have
Asian
that
Bill
curiosity.
Gates.
So starting to look at some of
Why
these
are
new
the, the
things,
banks are
think are
starting to
big
dump right now?
short-term, midterm,
That's weird.
and longer term.
They dump with
and
the
how you're
Iran
gonna make
stuff,
the
but they're
impact of
getting
the
that's the next
So
level right
Lippu,
now.
you've got enterprise audiences over here. You've got the CIOs. You've got chief information security officers. There's 10 million people that are probably going to be watching this. What advice would you have for people on how they should be thinking about AI and how they should be thinking about scaled infrastructure build out? What would you say to them?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So I think we all get excited and also a lot of pressure to adopt AI and then to the enterprise. So I think it's very important to think about what is the problem you try to solve, what is the outcome you want to look for, and then and also some of them like just like Intel, we have a very legacy IT infrastructure. I just recruited
Tesla to tell Senate
the best
on Wednesday,
CIO
Congress
that I
must
can
modernize
find,
self-driving
and I
car
brought her
regulations.
on board. And I kind of told her that, look,
If U.S. does
look
not
at-
lead,
I think it's
China
a
will
good
become
time
the
to look
dominant
at the
manufacturer.
foundation. What are the changes we need to make? You don't just put on top of the old legacy, it's not going to work. And then you have to really undo that and then embrace some of the new AI tool, function by function to really drive the optimizations. But more important is what are the process that you're going to drive the matrix to success. And then frankly speaking, a friend of mine, we just talking actually is MIT professor. I'm on the MIT CEO advisory board. And one just mentioned about, if you look at all the AI, the study that he studied is that basically the productivity of the global economy is growing very small percentage. So we still have to adopt more, broadly, so that we can really see the productivity go up, with agentic AI, with agent, and then robots.
It's actually the lowest it's been in, compared to back in the 1800s. And Mark
was
Andreessen
shocked.
had it was very eloquent.
I was shocked to see the productivity that he showed me the curve.
Yeah.
I said, wow, I thought that would be much higher
Much
than
higher.
that. So I think that's something that we have to think about. What is the end outcome that you want to have? And then go back, to foundation. How do we drive that? And then meanwhile, is keep ourselves, accountability that able to really drive the productivity of the enterprise that you can measure, you can present to your board. Hey, by doing this, I invest this new technology, actually improve my productivity and improve our revenue growth.
Yeah, UK police
Lippu,
formally
Intel is a
launched
national
criminal
treasure, but so are
probe
you.
in
Thank
a
you for
former
being here.
U.S.
Thank you for
ambassador
having me.
Mandelson over Epstein links. Thank you. He hugged him. Did Sam hug him?
All right.
Sam's not a real human,
So
bro.
we're going to now switch to not just language models,
That's
but 3D
amazing.
models.
He gave him a hug. I like Lippu. Okay, he made us 100%, but I like you, Lippu. All right, Lippu, can you have a barbecue for the rest of your team? Can you go take them bowling or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we have like a team building? Yeah, how come Sam didn't hug him? Wait, they delayed the moon launch? Oh. Well, Chad, the moon launch is delayed, I think, but your philo is kind of delayed, but we're going to have it now. So if you don't know, we had a little bit of Iran stuff. Today was kind of just a tech sell-off rotation. Remember, you still got earnings kind of expected. You're still near a high level. I mean, none of this is new for the last couple of weeks here. But yeah, pretty interesting day. Got a little active there. You got some Trump headlines on Trump homes. We'll talk about it when we start the next video. But it's time to go to Philo. So I hope you have a good day. I hope you're living good. The market's moving a little bit, but if you would like to listen to some Philo, I would encourage you to join. Otherwise, go wherever you feel you belong at 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So I'll post the link. It should take you there. I'll see you all there. Have a wonderful day if I don't. And God bless America. God bless Chattadonia.